Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 338. This is Uncharted 4 isn't a real video game, and that's okay. And if you know anything about me, there are certain words I just can't stand because they are semantically useless.
Yes.
And to say what a video game actually is, and to say what a real or true video game is, already you're in the bad place that you have put yourself in. So, and in case you haven't figured it out, it is a video by Mother's Basement, which came out 5 years ago in May, and it has about 140K views. So
that's 2016, right?
2016, that's right. Yeah, so it's been a while.
Yeah, in 2016 there was fewer people, so
yeah, it's
more idiots.
It's one of these things that already you're in my bad book. I don't know what to call that. It's just this thing that if you don't know English or argument words, and you're going to talk about a passion of friends or things that I know of, it's going to turn out poorly, I bet.
At least he doesn't have "Here's Why" in the title.
Oh yeah, Uncharted was murdered. It wasn't just killed.
It wasn't just killed. It was murdered. Here's why. And then a red circle in the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, a red circle with an arrow.
Let's actually appreciate the thumbnail in this one. What the hell is the guy on the right? Like, what is he? Does he have like VR headsets?
VR, PC, Nintendo.
Is that a PC or is it a video card? What is that? Like,
that's the toaster.
That's the PC.
That's the toaster for his gamer toast.
Oh.
Because he's a gamer.
Until the KFC console comes out.
Yeah, that's see that like rectangle at the top. Yeah, that's where the toast comes out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He probably likes it black.
I could just imagine like a PC case where it's like, yeah, it's got a built-in place where you can make your toast. From the heat from the graphics card.
The guy with the gaming stuff is just it's unnecessary.
Is Mother's Basement the same guy we covered who said that you should be banned from Twitter but not banned from Twitter?
Yes.
Is it? Oh,
you should skip parts in JoJo's maybe.
Yeah. He's definitely.
I cannot even count the times that I've been on Smudcasts where almost every time I'm on them, it's always someone that you guys have covered already. I'm just lagging behind.
Well, Mother's Basement.
I'm curious why he's doing a video game because usually he's doing anime.
Yeah,
right?
That's
an anime channel.
He was the guy who rambled on about, you should watch the show, but you shouldn't watch it. And if you want to watch it, watch it with friends, but don't watch it with other people. Make sure you paid money, but don't pay. It's like, what the flying hell are you talking?
Also, just this video is like calling something like this not a real video game. Meanwhile, Metal Gear Solid is in the corner laughing at him.
I don't know what this guy like. Who is anyone to say this is not a real franchise of millionaire video games that took years to make and all kinds of artists and actors and designers and developers? No, it's not real. It's all just stupid. You're like, it's still fun. Like, people love it.
Yes.
Yeah, what qualifies a real video game?
Oh God.
A real video games like Pong and Tetris. Those are real video games.
Yeah, even a game like Metal Gear Solid 4, which is basically 75% movie, counts as a video game.
And we're talking
real
about
video game is where you throw CDs at a pole and you try to get the CDs to line up on the thing, so they fall onto the sticky up thing.
Yes, that's the real video game.
That's the real video game.
Well,
so digital games aren't real games. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can't throw them on the stick. How are you supposed to play with them? I don't understand.
Then you tap something on the plastic controller.
How are you supposed to play the roll it as far as you can game? How are you supposed to do that with a digital game? It makes no sense. How am I supposed to enjoy this?
Okay. Anyway,
how am I supposed to make a go-kart with these digital games?
I like the distinction we can make with other media, like the movie. It's like we know what a movie is, but there are plenty of movies out there that I have watched which I wouldn't say have a story, or a movie has an appropriate way
or
well,
Captain Marvel.
I
No
always-
stories there.
I'm always
I
going to.
mean, let's not beat those horses any further. Let's
Yeah.
just stay on topic.
I was going to reference Survive Style 5, which Wisp introduced me to a few weeks ago. That
Nice.
it was a series of events for sure, and they were interrelated. But beyond that, it was the most confusing, strangest, bombastic thing I watched. So
And also, literally every found footage movie ever.
right. So there's all kinds of ways of telling a story within a movie. There's all kinds of ways of telling a story in a video game, and there's all kinds of ways of playing a game in a video game.
I mean, try and watch Plan 9 from Outer Space. Tell me if that's a proper movie.
Yeah.
Stuff happens in it.
And if you want to say,
Stuff happens in it.
and if you want to say,
There's definitely things that count for both sides of the argument.
Yeah,
I can give you that.
Yeah.
if you want to define what a movie is, then you could start with the definition of what a real, true, proper, whatever thing is. But already you're redefining a term which doesn't need to be redefined, especially one as gigantic a parent term as video game. That there is no set, like a piece of software can be whatever you want it to be. It's so generic, and for him to go, it's not real. Like, okay.
Yeah, video games can definitely have a much greater range of variety in terms of how they're made and how they're designed than any other medium so far.
I
Right.
think etymologically speaking, there is a distinction between a game and a toy, and I think a game should have some kind of fail state.
Sure.
Otherwise it's just a toy that you're just kind of playing with. But if there's no fail state, then it's not really a game. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it, things outside of video games, like that's the standard for what is a game. Is there is some way to
Exactly.
lose.
Thankfully, at least from my experience, at the very least, the fundamental aspects of game design do at least cover some of that.
we look
I
at
mean, like even if it's really easy, I mean, there should still be some way that you can fuck it up.
right. We look at the
Yeah.
function of a thing to say it is a thing. So what does the car do? It gets you from A to B. It could have 10 wheels. It could have 3. It's a vehicle that operates on some sort of combustion engine and goes along a road. So it's the standard definition of a car, even though it looks and operates slightly different than every other. So the same thing with the functional approach to a game or a toy or a movie. What does it try to do? Is it trying to entertain, and how does it do that? And then we evaluate what is that entertainment value, how it's achieved the same way, the interactive value, how does it allow you to control things, kind of like a sandbox where we then jump into the world of toys. Is this just an interactive series of blocks that are digital, or is there an actual thing you're trying to accomplish? And what's the function of the toys?
Yeah.
So, anyway, there's lots of things we can talk about. Usually, we devote this to like a genre of a video game because that's always harder, and people get hung up on the semantics of what an RPG is, or what a mobile game is, or what's a casual game, and all that other junk. And it's like, it doesn't really matter the categorization, just to understand where it's coming from, so you have a point of reference when you say this is a good or bad example of that, or it is a better example because it does more and it breaks the boundary of the genre. And that is the kind of interesting stuff when you have games like WarioWare, which you're not sure, is it a party game, is it a mini game? What are you doing in these experiences? So
Yeah, gaming definitely lets you. It's like each individual genre of games, which there's a lot of. They each individually have their own like amount of wiggle room that lets them like reinvent the wheel per se. And it's like we can from the base concepts, we can get something much greater out of it than what is expected.
yes, and that's where we get these weird genre mashing ideas like casual titles and mobile RPGs. Like, okay, I'm going to get into a battle, and it's pick 3, and I'm moving colored blocks together to clear out a row so I can swing my sword or something like that.
The best example from my experience is Metroidvania, which is that whole style of you have one big map, you have your somewhat blank slate character that you can project onto. You can explore to your heart's content. You can get a whole bunch of items and weapons. You can just pretty much make yourself a god, and it's like, and that just brings it all together because of the two namesakes of that subgenre were able to perfect it to such a point where that's what became it became its own genre, and those two combined set the standard.
Yeah. Same thing with like roguelike as well.
Yeah.
Similar idea.
That's a much more broad term because you can do so many other things with that sort of break other boundaries, because usually it's not real time. It's everything moves based on your movement or not, or it could be turn-based.
Well, there's roguelike and roguelite.
Yeah.
What
And
is
yeah, well, and I also bring up Metroidvania because from what I've seen out of all the subgenres that have popped up over the years, that one's the most focused in terms of what it's done up to now.
It can do a variety of other subgenres if it wants because of its design method, which is there's a series of keys and a series of doors you have to collect in a certain order.
Does it have to be side-scrolling to be Metroidvania?
No.
Or
No.
Gonna be
No, but because there's also Metroid Prime, and that's still Metroidvania.
Yeah,
is Dark Souls Metroidvania?
Sure. And
Because it kind of has similar aspects.
Say yeah.
Because it's like you get at weapons, you backtrack, and
I would say
because
you open up.
In the case of Dark Souls, that one went further and created its own semi-subgenre of Souls-like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which went a step further from Metroidvania.
And then you take the concept of a level, and it's no longer 2D, so you have platforming style games, and there's all kinds of those which aren't Metroidvanias, but they follow the same idea of a linear platforming experience as opposed to I don't even know if Souls is a open world. It feels like it, but it's not. There's lots
Not
of
really.
Yeah.
Not really, but it makes you feel like it.
Like by the end, you can get to anywhere from everywhere in one continuous thing, basically.
Yeah.
But at least Dark Souls specifically has that definitive linear path to the end. It's like ring the bells, fight the 4 bosses, defeat Lord Gwyn, and the final choice at the end. That's the basic. That's the skeleton of what you have to do in Dark Souls. Everything else you can choose to do.
And even the definition of open world, the technical aspect is there are still boundaries. You just don't perceive them as such because the ocean's too vast and there's nothing there. The mountains are too high, so there's nowhere to go. But it feels, because like in The Witcher 3, the world is so big that to traverse it would take so long. But there are boundaries, of course. It's not just continually.
Yes. It's just open world just takes a lot of the stuff in between out and leaves it more open.
Right.
In a sense,
the name.
Super Mario Galaxy is the first truly open world game because you can go the whole way around a planet. It's like a whole way around.
That would be Odyssey.
It's just a tiny fucking.
It would be Odyssey.
You can go to the whole planet. You can go all the way around to come back to where you are.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
Like, wow. Oh wow. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we can ramble on about genres and categories and all kinds of wonderful things about video games, but we're here to listen to the wonderful machinations of Mother's Basement and his hot takes on one of the more popular franchises.
Hopefully he stays on topic.
Well,
for the sake of this video specifically, it's a matter of video games in general, which takes up everything.
Yeah.
Swear to God, if he tries to compare it to anime, I'm gonna be mad.
You might compare it to Metal Gear though, because of how that series evolved.
I swear to God, if he compares
is he a big fan of
about?
I don't know, but Metal Gear is definitely one. Well, I say because Metal Gear definitely is more, as the series went on, it veered more and more towards the edge of gaming and more into movie style of storytelling, especially in MGS4. My God.
Yeah.
That was a fun experience.
Great game and great. It's just you better play it.
But surely Uncharted 4 is more of a game than like there's a lot less gamey games than Uncharted 4.
Uncharted 4 is definitely more of a game than MGS4. I'll say that much.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Are we good to go, folks? We're all set?
Yep.
Alrighty. 17 minutes. This might take a little bit longer than we expect, but I'm shooting for 3 hours, hopefully.
That's a good start so far. Yes.
All right.
We had a good start, so yeah.
I don't normally, but out of concern for my safety, I'm going to start this off by saying that if you like Uncharted, I think that's totally cool and okay. I'm going to be pretty harsh on the series for the next 15 minutes, but there are a lot of good reasons for people to enjoy it if you do. I've been waffling about making an Uncharted 4 video ever since I spent 14 miserable, wonderful hours streaming it and going ever so slightly mad.
That's motherfucking Guybrush Threepwood. All of a sudden, this video game is great.
Okay.
But the other day I saw a petition to remove a review of the game from Metacritic because it was tarnishing the game's score.
Oh, that was dumb
and I had
when
to
that
step
happened.
into the middle of it. We can argue till we're blue in the face about whether Metacritic is even worth looking at, but its purpose is pretty clear: to catalog the opinions of established critics. Taking an established critic off the site because
That's the topic. Can we get back to topic? I don't care about what reviews.
It's right here. The whole thing about critics versus like the actual playing audience. It's like that's its own video altogether.
The phrase established critics.
Yeah,
I have such visceral, like, cringe, like, ugh. Anyone who uses that, you're not an established critic. You're not a connoisseur of media like myself. I have a media studies degree.
And this alone is its whole separate argument that maybe eventually there's someone
absolutely Uncharted fans were taking it maybe too seriously. Who cares? Why is Uncharted 4 not a real video game?
Yeah, this is almost none relevant whatsoever to the discussion of whether or not it's a real video game.
All right.
Oh god, strike one.
Agree with him would fundamentally undermine the only reason that the site even exists, so that petition will go nowhere. But aside from that, the reason that Uncharted gets glowing reviews in the first place is that it's a super reviewer-friendly franchise. The average Uncharted game, everything after 1 basically, provides a passively entertaining thrill ride full of big, impressive moments that lets you feel like you've accomplished something without putting in much effort or skill. And for a game reviewer, that's fucking heavenly. With most games, when you boot them up, you have no idea when they'll actually be finished. It's not like reviewing a movie or TV show. How quickly a game is over depends on how much of it you want to see and how good you are at playing it. GTA 5 might take one player 20 hours to complete and another close to 100. The dirty little secret of game reviews is that most reviewers never actually finish anything that they're playing. Writing reviews for news outlets is a never-ending race to meet deadlines, particularly with hit-driving AAA titles. So a lot of reviewers end up playing 4 or 5 hours tops, typing up some flowery impressions, and tacking on a safe score based on what they played. If you see a reviewer who gives every game an 8 out of 10, that's what they're doing. I know, because I did it sometimes too. By the way, don't go to this website.
Oh, right, he's a game journalist. I forgot about that, yeah.
So I was a piece of shit. It's like, don't do what I do. It's like, okay.
So what does that have to do with being a real video game or not?
Well,
yeah, we're talking about critics and how they score these games because it's based on links or whatever. Who cares?
Again, that can be its own video. This has nothing to do with whether or not this specific game is a real game or not.
Explain to me how Last of Us Part 2 got 10 out of 10. Every freaking reviewer out there.
Are we still on about reviewers?
Yep.
I think
wow. I had to leave. My neighbours just brought cookies round for me, so I've been eating them.
That is infinitely more important.
Can you send over some cookies?
Yeah, okay.
Actually,
what kind of cookies are we talking about?
Homemade chocolate chip ones.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Anyway, that's the good news. Anyway, back to the shit.
That has nothing to do with the actual topic at hand.
2 or 3 play sessions, no matter what. Outside of a few shooting gallery bits, you barely even have to think about what you're doing. It doesn't even require the attention of marathoning a TV show on Netflix because the story is over-padded tripe. And when you're done,
Okay, so I don't see the problem if you like action-oriented experiences like Transformers, what have you. That's the point. You want all these crazy explosions and dynamic jumping and action scenes. You don't need all this backstory and all these other elements because they get in the way of.
Padded. What does he mean over padded? What is he? What?
I don't know.
That is pretty straightforward.
Always remember. Yeah, but always remember, people always complain about the human elements of those sort of films and stuff, like the Godzilla movies. Everyone's like, less humans, more monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I mean, a lot of kaiju monster movies. It's like a lot of focus on the humans as well as the monsters.
This is like complaining the Transformers movies aren't deep enough for me. It's like, were they supposed to be? I don't think so. And
it's not a real video game because there's not enough humanity in these.
I mean, we'll go back to Transformers. Well, say what you want about Transformers. To go back to that for just a little moment, it's like at least the '80s movie tried. It put in the effort.
Yeah, but we're talking about.
There's not enough philosophical questioning in Transformers for me.
Yeah.
I'm an intellectual.
There's a Transformer game. I just want to transform and shoot Decepticons.
Yeah.
It's like if the Michael Bay movies were games instead, they would have been a lot better. Because that's just that kind of stuff does work for a game, but for a movie, hell no.
Is interesting because these games like Uncharted are very cinematic, and it's not just action scenes, but also cut scenes where you are watching a movie. And he's like, "Oh, the movie bits are just tripe," and you're like, "Okay, but were they supposed to be anything more than like filler for between action? Like, what do you want and why?
Is there plot holes or anything? Is there like really glaring plot holes or?"
Nathan is after treasure. That's like every plot to the game.
It seems like the plot.
He's like, all right, let's go.
Straightforward. It's like he wants to find the thing. Turns out it's cursed. Yeah. Oh, turns out somebody betrays him. And there's some military mercenary.
Exactly.
It's pretty simple.
I don't remember any philosophical moments in Indiana Jones.
Oh, you know something? I was just about to mention Raiders of the Lost Ark because that's literally what the plot is. It's artifacts, military people, things are cursed. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
And yet Raiders is always classed as one of the best movies. And yet,
we're now talking about it's the Nazis. They're using the treasure for evil purposes. So now it's a race against time to save the world.
Yeah.
Just like Uncharted, because it's homaging, the Indiana Jones films.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a merge between Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider. I mean Tomb Raider. I mean the original Tomb Raiders, not the new
original. Right? Yeah, not the girl.
I'm assuming
the
woman. A woman. The way. So I'm assuming he's not actually going to explain what's actually wrong with the plot. He's just gonna say it's self-evidently tripe. And just not say anything more about the plot.
I will say, if he starts complaining about like toxic masculinity, I'm gonna be very mad because he was complaining about that shit in other games.
Yeah.
How would that make the game not a real video game though? That would have nothing to do with it either way.
There are plenty of scenes.
I don't know.
There are plenty of scenes and parts where you control female characters, I believe. So
yes,
there is like a kind of a spin-off. Would you call it a spin-off? That has
the Lost Legacy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you play as a woman in that one, but
a woman.
No, I'm pretty sure Lost Legacy was before. Wasn't Lost Legacy before all the woke shit?
Well, that was after this was made. So after the video was made, so I don't know if you had a chance to play.
Yeah, it's 2017.
Was it the GIF in the chat?
No, I mean Lost Legacy specifically.
It's a little bit woke.
All I know is it's a woman.
A woman.
Yeah, we don't need. There's a guy in there and they just constantly give him shit.
Of course, because it's woke.
Just a little, but
just a tiny little bit woke. Just a teeny little tiny bit woke. Just not hurt you that much.
Just a smackerel, piglet.
They would have made them lesbians if they could, but whatever.
Anyway.
Just talk about explosions and exhilaration for a bit. Throw in a few references to the one or two directors you can name off the top of your head. Maybe talk about how games are outperforming movies as units of mass media consumption if you really
and what's wrong with any of that.
And collect your paycheck. Or don't, because most of these outlets don't even pay their writers. What you don't do is talk about gameplay in any kind of depth, because under scrutiny it all kind of falls apart. Uncharted is famous for pretending to...
The gameplay of Uncharted falls apart? Okay.
Huh?
Not if you good at it, or like average at it.
What do you mean?
Like, if it was fundamentally broken,
sorry,
as in like
either broken or completely fucking scripted.
Sorry, I got distracted a little bit. What point was he making?
Gameplay bad.
He's still talking about the critics who don't talk about gameplay, even though he said the gameplay is broken. And you're like, how?
But hang on, hold
on.
If he's a professional critics, then why is he complaining that we don't talk about gameplay? Because they're professional critics and he like sucks their cocks.
Well, yeah, exactly. He said like, oh, well, they're established critics, you know.
Yeah, you're an established critic, but you don't talk about gameplay.
Credentials.
So what's the problem? What's the problem?
I mean, even
in the more story-driven games, there is still that element of skill in the gameplay.
Yeah, but I'm still not trying to figure out.
But when he says it's broken, I'm thinking, okay, it's the mechanics are not working properly as they're intended.
The mechanics
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, I guess like the what do you call it? The parkour or whatever is very like you kind of just point in a direction and time your jumps, and it's very like it's not like hard. You know, it's not hard to. It's really just
no.
So
I mean, try Fortune maybe because it's kind of glitchy.
Yeah, well, with parkour systems, it's not so much doing it that's hard. It's just a matter of like find the fastest way to go, and the Assassin's Creed especially does that right most of the time.
But Assassin's Creed did it a lot better because with Assassin's Creed that was its main gameplay mechanic. Because you'll find
that's what I mean. Because in that case, it was the focus, so they focus more on where to go as to how to do it. And in Uncharted, it's more combining that with the action and the storytelling a lot more than Assassin's Creed did. It's like it has to juggle things a bit more, and it's like I wouldn't call it broken. I would call it simple.
It's especially because it's linear, so that like there's a clear like. There's normally a pretty obvious path, and it's just a case of like going down that path. Whereas, like in Assassin's Creed, like the parts where like you get pickpocketed and you're just sort of chasing the pickpocket, like that, it's a lot more like you're just going around terrain. It's not like made for this as a set piece, right? It just exists as part of the world. So it's a lot more like you have to think a lot more on your feet because it's not designed specifically for this sequence, whereas in Uncharted, if you're in any kind of chase, the terrain is like designed specifically with this sequence in mind. So it's a little bit more brain dead than like.
Well, and I think the climbing is more involved in Assassin's Creed because it doesn't like automatically grapple for you. At least in the earlier game, you actually have to grapple yourself.
Yeah, because the thing is, Assassin's Creed gives it more of a balance, where Uncharted it obviously focuses more on the story than the others, but still gives some attention to the rest of the elements of the game.
Yeah. Well, I got told by a really intelligent game reviewer that if only all games played exactly the same as Resident Evil 4, then the world of game would be better. So that's my opinion. Uncharted is a video game because it's not Resident Evil 4. So anyhow.
Oh yeah, the dialogue in Resident Evil 4 is it's brilliant.
Oh no, Smud. This guy that we covered on Sloppy Seconds had to go at Dead Space because it wasn't Resident Evil, and it turned into he'd literally have even sport. Pong is not a good video game because it's not like Resident Evil 4. It literally just turned into every video game must be Resident Evil 4, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this guy? No. Okay, we get it. You like that game?
I mean, if the argument is in terms of quality, then yes, games should be that good.
No, but not have the exact same shooter mechanics.
No, definitely not the exact same. No, I can agree with the argument.
Characters. He just literally wants every single game to just be a re-release of Resident Evil 4. I'm like, okay.
I mean,
Resident Evil 4.
It is getting a remake as much as as unnecessary as it is.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, that was just my little point. You can. we can continue talking about game reviewers of why Uncharted's not a video game.
He'll get to the point eventually. Anyway, here's Mike Testa. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Smud, I'm glad you chose something I recommended. Well, the first choice was something we didn't want to cover, and it was more of a parody.
So if this guy ends up giving a really, really shit take, it's Mike Testa's fault.
Yeah.
For suggesting it.
People.
Hey, I didn't know Mike Testa was in Uncharted.
People still vote.
Mike don't care.
People still vote, so we just go with what's given, but sometimes I can't find anyone. And guys, doing a parody video isn't really gonna was
it a parody video?
No. The first one was, and it's like, okay.
I know, but was it?
I think so. And
I meant that first video, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like we could do it, but we're not gonna provide any critical...
at that point, we should just do a Smud talk on the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai franchise in general.
Pretty much.
And just talk about it,
Yeah. So parody videos aren't the greatest option for analysis because they're parody videos. You're not supposed to take them seriously. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, and before people say, MatPat is not a parody channel, so yeah, we can still put it in.
I'm not sure what MatPat is, and I don't really care, because whatever makes him happy, good for you, Matt, but we're going to laugh at you every chance we get. So.
Oh, fucking hell.
I'll just...
It's just the game theory.
It's like, I have nothing against MatPat. I watch his content just for the lulz. Just
Well,
whatever.
see...
Genuine lulz or ironic?
Actual
lulz.
No, see, here's the difference. Gingerman has nothing against MatPat, and I have everything against him. So, see, yin and yang.
Shit.
All right. Okay.
Makes sense.
About MatPat.
Here's Taker 610. Always found the gun combat my least favorite part of the Uncharted experience. It gets downright tedious at times. Overall, the series is good. Yeah, we could argue to cows go home about how poor the third-person shooting mechanics are. They aren't that great.
Yeah,
they're simple. Yeah. They're supposed to be simple, and
it is very simple. Yeah,
and that's because it was designed for consoles, and you have to keep things very streamlined for those experiences, as opposed to looking at how Gears of War handles combat, which is a lot different. So
but Gears of War is unrealistic. An unrealistic post-apocalyptic game.
Well, it's like what Taker just said about the gun combat in Uncharted can definitely be said. The same can be said about the sword play in Assassin's Creed, because that is brain dead. With counter kill.
Oh yeah. Oh, Assassin's Creed
Brotherhood is ridiculous because you can go on killing sprees.
But then again, the main thing there is just so that if it portrays the assassin you play as a badass that doesn't let anything get in their way.
Yeah,
it's still brain dead simple.
Unfortunately,
I don't know.
It services the story. It's just gameplay. It sucks, just from the counter kill.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I prefer it to be more like Thief, where it's you can't get away with anything. It's
that's personal. That's personal opinion. So but I would never say that makes Thief less of a game because you can't get away with stuff. I'm not that much.
Where's the power fantasy? Every game must be a power fantasy.
Oh, don't.
Obviously,
We covered power fantasy, and I still don't know what a fucking power fantasy is.
Well, I mean, God of War,
I mean, the scope would have been power fantasy if it weren't for the designers realizing it's hey, we got to have some kind of morality for this, and it came directly from preventing a power fantasy with no consequences.
All I know is that what's that idiot called that we covered with the power fantasy?
H-bomber guy.
Oh, H-bomber guy. Yeah. All I know is that he just doesn't like God of War.
Good bomber.
Yeah.
Good bomber.
Boomer.
Remember, guys.
Boomer.
When you think of a power fantasy, you have to think of objectification. You're like, what? Why?
Yeah. When you think of a power fantasy, you've got to think of not having a beard because no one likes beards.
Obviously, yeah.
Aw. Hello, guys.
Hey, bad boy, how you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
What's up?
Oh, it's great weather.
I'm so happy you guys chose this one. I actually voted for this one.
Oh, great.
Yes.
God, why do people vote for this? Jesus. Anyway, no, it's nice.
Held a super chat from Mike Testa.
Yeah, I never recommended a parody, and I have a MatPat. Dude, that's cool. I have a MatPat video for you guys to see, Hawk. This guy can go lick toilets on the topic of piracy. Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Let's not go back to that.
Okay.
Let's get on. Let's get on with the video.
Let's keep going with what we're actually talking about.
Let's go on with the video.
It belongs in a museum.
Be a movie, and really good at that in all of the superficial ways that don't actually matter. The action moves.
Okay, so again, if it
Superficial ways.
if it does a very good job of making it look like a movie, then it does a really good job.
Then it's doing something right, at least.
It's doing the thing it's designed to do.
You know, it's like, oh, it doesn't actually matter.
What is the superficial ways of making something look like a movie? I'm like,
I don't know.
Well, if you watch Last of Us and you got bored by every scene, that's how you do it.
This is like saying the visuals of a woman are superficial. It's like, yes, that's true.
It's all about the personality. You lie to yourself.
Something about her. Tits.
I think one of the games that was like guilty of like being more like a movie was this game on the PlayStation. It was the Order 1886.
Oh yes.
I know a lot of people complained about that being like more movie than actual game. I never played it, so I can't attest to it. So
I think it was 4 hours too.
Yeah, it's not a long game, and you can like just nerf through it like so easily. It's just so. It was bad. It was just terrible.
Here is Mike Testa one more time. Without piracy, this icebox imbecile, I like that one, icebox imbecile, would not have Mother 3 in the first place. Huh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Still not written in English. Been 20 goddamn years.
Of course not.
Especially with Reggie out of the company, that ain't happening.
Nintendo, what are we gonna do with you?
God, I tell you something now. These fucking cookies are fucking awesome. These are really good. Dude, honestly, these are helping me get through it.
I still think, Hawk, you're gonna get angry by the end of this video, no matter how great those cookies are.
Yeah, you're gonna have to choke on that chocolate chip.
All right.
I'm in too much of a good mood for Smudcast.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like Clockwork Orange.
Good mood's gonna go sour real soon.
Yeah, see, if I had a Guinness every time I watched one of our videos, I'd be like, oh, this guy's just having a bad day. He's not, paying attention. He's, life is tough. What are you gonna do? I'll make all these excuses for all these bad arguments.
Then I'm just like, this is a fucking idiot. What the hell is this faggot on about? Be nice to him. No.
It's gonna be like Clockwork Orange, where he's like traumatized by hearing the Beethoven, but it's like with chocolate chip cookies. You're just gonna start associating it with really terrible Mother's Basement videos. And you're just gonna be eating a cookie some other day, and you go, oh. This reminds me of Mother's Basement.
Insert the clip of The Simpsons where it's like everyone in front of the cookie jar going. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
A good, well-directed clip, there's tons of witty back-and-forth banter, and everything feels cinematic. But the end goal for most filmmakers isn't just make a movie, it's...
Want to bet?
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's tell a story. Of course this game is telling a story. What do you think?
If your job is
this
to
game
bake...
specifically is telling a story. It's about Nathan's struggle to maintain the adventure life and his personal life. That's not a story, really?
Sure.
It doesn't have enough themes.
Well, I don't know
all the themes.
What the goal of filmmakers are, but I'm quite sure practically, realistically, budgetarily,
money,
contractually,
money.
That's the main molesting actresses. That's the main goal.
The point.
What's the goal of Michael Bay films?
The point of any job is to provide a product or service.
Tucking their toes. That's the main goal.
And in the Uncharted world, it is to provide a high quality standard of quality product. that they have been doing consistently. And if you don't do that, people are going to get pissed off. And we saw what happened with Naughty Dog's other franchise. So,
yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, if only they did something different with can you imagine doing a Last of Us 2 treatment to Uncharted 3 or 4? It's just like, oh boy.
Oh god.
They still could if they wanted to.
That's
let's just kill Nathan Drake with a golf ball.
Something tells me the likelihood of them doing it is very, very low, almost nothing. Especially after Last of Us 2's reception.
No, they'll have Nathan.
It's not going to deter Druckmann.
They have Nathan just become a pedophile. They're just like, no, he's a pedophile now.
Really?
Oh yeah, because he has a daughter, so it's like, yeah.
And then they're just like, wow, you're hard. And then they have you play as a person that has to kill him, and then you have to kill.
Look,
Nathan
we
Drake.
designed it that way so that the female character could be uplifted, right?
No, I think the ultimate insult to Nathan Drake is like they kill him off screen and they're like, okay, how did he die? He's like, well, he fell off a cliff. Seriously, he fell off a cliff?
No, a cliff is too epic. A cliff is too epic. He tripped in his shower.
The worst
he
way
tripped in the shower.
Kazuyo Mishima threw him off along with everyone in Smash.
And you know what the explanation could be? It's like, well, I guess his luck just ran out finally. It's like, oh no.
No. What happened was, guys, it's like
They call me from Unity. I make my own luck.
He got a paper cut from receiving a letter from his daughter telling him how much he sucked, and because he's such a useless man, he got gangrene from the paper cut and died. And it's up to his daughter to get revenge on the paper manufacturers. Because institutionalized racism.
No. She has to sue the company, and it's actually not an action game at all, and it's actually a weird Ace Attorney ripoff. The genre of the game is completely different.
And instead of objection, it's just misogyny.
Yeah, and it'd be great too, because then he could have cancer because Sully smoked cigars, but he didn't, so he got the cancer. That makes sense.
I'm willing to bet they'll have him get into a fight with like another female adventurer like him, and she's gonna kick his ass and kill him.
Well, they kind of had that. They kind of had but I'm saying, like, the sassy black lady.
This person's actually gonna follow through.
Oh,
this person's actually gonna follow
Nadine.
through with it.
Right? Yeah. See, beats him up.
Nadine.
And it's like, what the fuck?
Who was voiced by
sense.
Laura Bailey.
Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
I mean, she was trying really hard to kill him. Just saying. Just saying.
But no, she's friends with Chloe, so she's a good person now.
That was her mistake.
Nothing against Laura, though.
No.
Like,
no, they're just using her.
Like the people that legitimately went after her because of the faults of the writers and the developers is like
terrible.
Those people are legitimately idiots.
Yeah,
for going after the actors. It's like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
All right, so here's Mike Testa one more time. It's even funnier because Crunchyroll is a traitor to piracy, being that they were originally pirates claiming not to be, and the fact he defends them. I don't know the history of Crunchyroll, but I think you guys told me a few of how they acquired certain products and translated them, so I could be wrong.
I'm not up on my Crunchyroll lore, so
I hear some people don't like Crunchyroll. That's about it, from what I hear.
I couldn't tell you. I've never.
They're kind of cringe sometimes.
So.
Anyway, back to the role of game developers and designers.
Back to life, back to reality.
Tell a story, and in Uncharted's case, that's...
let's rewind that.
Yeah.
But the end goal for most filmmakers isn't just make a movie, it's tell a story. And in
okay, so that's even more generic. It's like, I'm going to make a car. No, I'm going to make an opportunity to you to get places. It's like, what? What?
Yeah.
No? God, I don't think this guy's made anything in his life.
Yeah.
Like, if you make a product, you understand the craft and the complexity and time and effort and expertise to become better at that job. And everyone does this. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're sweeping the street or making a hamburger or whatever. You're like, hey, this is not that great because you just started doing it. And then you realize I need better products. I need higher quality product. I need to know how to cut the meat. I know how to get the proper ingredients and yada, yada. All this prep time to make something worthwhile. It takes effort. And for a guy who's like a producer to go, I just want people to have a good time. It's like, no, your job is to make the highest quality product at the least cost, at the best experience for your audience. If it's a movie we're talking about, not, I want everyone to have a good time. Yeah. There's a lot of nuance to craft, especially a big piece of production like a movie. And a video game, just triple that, maybe quadruple it even. So I don't think producers think.
I just want half the audience to like it and half the audience to think it was not that great, rather than just being it okay, said Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Stop beating that dead horse, please.
That is a
we will never stop beating that dead horse. I go out my way to beat that dead horse. I will drag that dead horse from my basement and beat it daily.
With the golf club. With a golf
club, yes.
Good to know how sadistic you are.
You don't know how sadistic I am. I wasn't called sadistic.
You can't hear it, but he's like munching on those cookies like they're nothing.
No more. They'll probably try on cookies after this guy says a bad take.
Yeah, those cookies mean nothing to me.
He's an animal. He's like a dog on a. He's gone. Cookie's gone.
You think I care about these cookies' feelings? They mean nothing to me.
Thank you. That's delicious.
Actually, I have actually now. She brought 10 round. I have only got 3 left.
There you
go. Oof.
Right.
Save it. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done.
I'm gonna be sick. I feel like I'm gonna be sick actually. So yeah.
Yeah, you better stop.
All right.
Well, I know Mother's Basement.
Let's go.
Bad.
Uncharted's case, kind of an afterthought. Naughty Dog has been pretty open about the fact that they design set pieces first and then write a story around them, which is how Nathan Drake ended up being dragged from the middle of the desert to a pirate fortress before going back to the desert.
Yeah, but they also have a dedicated writer to just do the story aspects, and they fill in the blanks between action shots because it's action. You don't need to write a script for.
Hasn't it come out recently? That's what Marvel does with a lot of its movies, as in they create the action scene and then tell the writers to write around them.
What is wrong with that method? Literally, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
But yeah, I know that Uncharted 4 went through that process because you have that incident.
Because with Black Panther, all the fight scenes had been done before the first bit of script had been written.
I mean, it's just like, what are they supposed? They're supposed to just like, well, you should just work it out organically, and then they start writing, and then he just ends up as a fucking accountant, like at the end, he gets divorced, he's an accountant, and it's just like, sorry, there's no action in this action franchise because we didn't write any action set pieces.
Well, I don't really see how this pertains to Uncharted 4 because I think Uncharted 4 they already had work done before the whole firing of Amy Hennig.
Sure,
and then they had to redo everything.
The issue is, are the set pieces badly done? And if so, is that a problem of the writing or the set piece itself? And if so, show us. Mm-hmm. Because you can't just say, oh, this is how they make stuff. It's like, so? Is it bad or good? What's your point?
Yeah,
it wasn't bad in Uncharted 2.
Like I want an actual example of why it's bad. Girls, who cares if they use a different technique to make something? I really don't care.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where I'm getting fed up of like a lot of YouTubers going, "This is bad because I say it's bad," and it's just a bit like, no, that's not how this works. Yeah, you need to provide examples of why these things are bad.
Yeah, sure.
A lot
Uncharted
of us...
3, it was because he makes the example of like he's in the cruise ship, now he's in the desert. I get that's a little disconnected because that ship graveyard sequence had nothing to do with like the main story at hand. but that doesn't mean that happens in every Uncharted game.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the biggest retcon in Uncharted 4 was the introduction of his brother. Because if in Uncharted 3 you have the villain come out with his file, saying digging into his family history. Oh, you're not actually related to Francis Drake. Your father abandoned you. There's no mention of his brother at all. And then when you get to Uncharted 4, it's like, oh, here's his brother, and here's the reason why Nathan never mentioned him for 3 games. And it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then you have to buy that somehow 15 years later he's still alive after all these years.
I mean, it's not quite Fast and Furious hard to swallow, I mean, it's like...
Oh, yeah, but at least with Fast and Furious,
some movies are written this way
family.
as well, Mission Impossible being the prototypical example, but it's a lot easier for these experiential, spectacle-driven narratives to justify themselves over the course of 2 hours as opposed to 15. Most Uncharted games struggle to find an actual point, and even the one that did ended up getting distracted from it for more than half of its running time. And if you don't have a good...
So, by point, I assume he means plot? Like, what's going on?
The theme!
It's Nathan gets treasure, that's it.
Yeah, he wants stuff, and people get in the way of him getting stuff, and he has to fight them.
Where's the anti-imperialist themes?
Nathan destroys another priceless city.
I can't enjoy this without the themes.
The treasure is has a curse. They're gonna kill the world. Nathan has to stop it. How hard is that?
Yeah.
Again, I want an example of what story he's referring to where there's no point to the story. Because that doesn't make sense.
But I don't think he'll give an example.
It just this generic response. It's like, yeah, no, there's no point to the game. It's like, it's a game. You shoot things, you run around. I don't know the story personally, but specifically which one? 1 to 4? Like, pick one. And then we'll look at that very quickly.
I can enjoy this Super Mario game. I mean, why does he even care about Peach? I mean, we don't even really understand his motivation. I mean, we don't really know this Peach character. Why does he even really care, man? I mean, are they romantically involved? I mean, he doesn't seem to have any feelings for him. What does he really get out of this? I mean, he seems a bit old for her as well. I mean, maybe he's actually secretly her father, but we never know.
Is he even really a plumber?
Care about the world? Why does he want... Does he connect to the world on a day-to-day basis? Why is he a loner? It's this kind of mentality that's just...
I'm just imagining in the fucking making of like the Super Mario Brothers like movie, the actor just being like, I just don't understand my motivation here. I mean, what should I be feeling in this scene?
Yeah, who wants to save the world?
Before he rolls up a $1 bill and snorts cocaine.
I still understand. What is the theme here?
What's the theme?
Why does there need to be a theme on saving the world?
You see, are you sure about this line? I mean, would he really say ho ho? I was thinking more of a ho ho. I mean, that seems more in character at this point in the movie.
Why is he called Mario?
What is Mario and why is he Mario? It's like,
why Mario?
Why Mario?
Oh my god.
Why Mario? Why?
Me, Mario.
It's like Luigi. It's a me, Mario.
Yeah, why can't it ever be Luigi saving the world?
Oh, you thought it was Bowser. But it was me, Luigi.
Luigi is too busy remaking Ghostbusters.
Like, you just see Bowser, he just he takes off his face. It's fucking Luigi in the fucking shell. Like, it's Luigi like in Bowser's like a Bowser costume, and it's like, it was me all along. Me and Peach have been in love. she's pregnant with my child.
There was actually a video on YouTube. I think it was by Mashed, where they do like a Mario Brothers thing, but it's like anime style. It's like Mario falls into a pit of lava, and Luigi's like, now it's my turn to shine. They're constantly like screwing each other over in anime style. It's pretty funny.
All right, here is Mike Testa. That's because they're being turned into movies. The games?
Thanks, Mike.
Mike. Sure.
Mike, you were doing
Thanks,
so
Mike.
well with your super chats. Now I'm lost again. I think
he is saying, but I think he is.
That reminds me. In the last show, did Mike Testa even super chat at all? I don't remember.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah, I can scroll.
Yeah,
I
he
can scroll
did.
back. But...
He did. There was a lot. I was watching, and Mike was there.
I was just listening to you and LiteratureDevil.
Yeah, Mike wanted to be friends with LitDev in private chat, and I'm like, Mike, just
okay.
Just talk to him normally, please.
Right. just ask. Yeah.
Anyway,
He's got his own server, right?
so these games don't have a point. You're like, all right, thanks, Mother's Basement. That's great observation.
Okay.
Story to tell, cinematic feel in the world adds up to jack shit. Look at life.
Okay, so now we're comparing.
Is he going to say Life is Strange as a positive example?
You've got to be shitting me.
So the cutscenes of Uncharted amount to nothing. Like, thanks.
Yeah, saving the world amounts to nothing. Okay.
It's the dialogue, the interpersonal communication. No, it's just nothing. We get it. You don't like the game, okay? You just don't like it. It's clear. Fine.
We're going to Life is Strange. We're going to Weeby Shitty Central, aren't we? I just don't like it. All these
I'm sorry, Nathan and Elena's relationship is just better than whatever the hell Life is
Strange.
Getting
Nolan North and Claudia Black together just doesn't mean anything.
Oh God! I would, if I could, I would marry Claudia Black's voice.
Voice?
Claudia,
just the voice.
Okay, fine. You can have the voice. We'll have the rest of her.
Yeah, have you seen Claudia Black?
She's a nice looking lady.
Claudia Black from Barskip. Are we talking about? Is that the same?
Yeah. But
I'd totally go for her if I was older.
Oh yeah.
But my thing is the fact that she voices Morrigan, so I'd have to have Morrigan's body with her voice. So
I've just been watching Barskip.
Yes.
I've been on season 3. It's pretty good.
It is good. Yeah, it's fun. It's crazy.
Always remember that Claudia Black got ripped in half in Pitch Black with Vin Diesel. That was hilarious.
Oh, did she? Yikes.
Yeah, that was hilarious because she was like dressed up like her Farscape character as well. They sort of like, if you look at the two characters, they look really similar.
Right, yeah.
I think when did Farscape come off the air?
Well, okay, well it was like 2003. I think it was like 99 to 2003.
Yeah, because Pitch Black came out in 2000, so I don't know whether it was like a little nod and a wink to Farscape.
Yeah. I mean, they did the same thing in Stargate as well, where she was on that, and she was dressed as her character in that one episode. That one.
But I will say her son is a terrible voice actor.
Oh really?
Yeah, because her actual son voices Karen, is it the godchild in Dragon Age Inquisition? And it's one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. It really does make me want to like drop kick a child.
Oh, Kieran. Oh, okay.
Yeah, is it Kieran?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Karen's the Templar from Dragon Age 2. Yeah, that kid's voice acting is just like he's meant to be like what 10, 11. He sounds like he's like 4.5.
Yeah, he's really young. It sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm just a bit like, oh my god. And like, because obviously.
Also, hang on. Why are we talking about the story when we're talking about how good of a whether it's a game? Why are we talking about whether the story is good? How is that relevant to it being a game? Not even a good game. Yeah. Just being a game.
A real video game, right?
What's the story of
This is my problem with Mother's Basement. He always has to go off topic, and somehow that's relevant to the main discussion.
This is not the topic.
Oh my god, yeah. So it's like, what's the like the story of like FIFA 20?
Yeah, what is Life is Strange doing that apparently Uncharted doesn't?
I mean,
I think different
Uncharted,
types of games.
I think if you took out all the story out of Uncharted and just had like the action set pieces, it would still be a pretty good game. Like it would still be like I would still play
you could skip the cutscenes and just.
I skip cutscenes in most things. Unless it's specifically an RPG, I will probably just skip.
Yeah, but are you saying that if you actually put a story in Life is Strange, it might be good?
Or gameplay, indeed, or indeed anything. Really.
or anything like that. Yeah.
So
That's
listen,
the
to
video game.
Life is Strange. Life is Strange needs Claudia Black. Okay.
I mean, Life is Strange is really
yes. We also need
really
a
just
lot
glorified
people as well.
Relationship, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just a glorified desktop background, really. Life is Strange, really.
Yeah.
There's not really any other content, really.
All right, here's Mike Testa. Life is Cringe still has the most selfish ending.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird.
Selfish.
Isn't there two endings?
Selfish could mean many things, and there's multiple choices in these endings of these games. Maybe the canon ending. I don't know which one was chosen.
Is there Smud? Is there, because every time we've covered it, there's only been 2 endings that I know of, and it literally turns down to kill a kid or everyone else dies. And it's a bit like, who would choose that everyone else dies?
But
there's the bad ending, then there's the worst ending.
But
the true ending is you stop playing the game, and they're frozen in time forever.
And
they never continue to use the player.
You give up video games forever, and that's
You give up video games, delete your memory, and go outside and look at the sunrise.
That's the true ending. That was what the developers intended.
Well, hold on. Which one of you said there's a bad ending and there's the worst ending? Which is which? I'm confused.
So there's the ending where she kills the town to get with her lesbian girlfriend. And there's the ending where she kills the girlfriend.
Yeah.
We're talking about the first
nothing
game.
bad happens.
We're not talking about the DLCs or the second game. I think they're making a third game too.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're making a third game.
What is the other game?
It's all coming back,
this game.
What's the other game that's like a spin-off or like it's the same universe?
True Colors?
Is that what it's called?
It's 2 guys, right?
I remember it from the Nintendo E3 Direct, right after they announced Kazuya.
I've also just thought of something. You know about me saying, like, you delete all your stuff, you go outside and look at the sunset. Afterwards, you do disappear, because I watched a movie once and an old man disappeared at a sunset. So that's what happens after Life is Strange is over.
Right.
You just disappear.
Anyway,
no one remembers you.
Here's
Here we go.
Again, Smud. The canon ending is the town is destroyed. Okay, good enough.
Okay.
Wow,
That's the
really?
canon ending? How does the sequel come out?
I don't want to know.
Different town.
Oh, you play as a bucket that's left over from the destruction.
He plays a different person.
No, but you're playing
it's a great character.
Yeah, you
that's
see?
Weird.
Different place, different person.
Oh, it's different. Okay, I guess that's.
Let's go.
Anyway, guys,
do it.
Let's go.
So anyway.
Is strange. It also tries to emulate filmic techniques like rack focus, but it does so to enhance its
Rag folk? What would you say?
Rack focus.
Okay.
The camera thing with cameras.
That's the technique in camera. Okay, fine. Never mind.
Yeah.
visual story capabilities. It evokes moods and sensations by subtly
Who gives a
what
fuck?
the camera sees. Uncharted almost never moves beyond drawing your attention to an object, and it rarely even does that. Take any
gives a
given
shit?
shot from any of the games.
All right, so these
Big game.
That scene there is fucking beautiful, right? That's beautiful. You're telling me that a woman in her underwear, or a teenager in her underwear, is like? I never weaved again.
You go to.
Well, you see it at the rack focus. You see, because it focuses on the rack.
What he's doing here is.
This is gonna be weave faggotry again with this cunt. Oh my god! Seriously, these cookies aren't gonna help me at all.
So
look at that camera move. So awful.
So anyway, what he's doing here is comparing apples and oranges. He's looking at a completely different genre of a game, like an adventure game, which Life is Strange is like a weird. Click. I guess I would like call it Sierra type games. You move your cursor around the screen.
It's a point and click adventure.
Something along those lines.
An adventure.
Yes.
Is it an adventure?
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
It's a point and click inconvenience.
A point and click nightmare. Okay.
It's a point and click tedium.
Well, he's comparing the camera angles and the nuances of zooming and this and that of a room to the vistas and the large action adventure of Nathan Drake's experience, which is
it's boring. It only panned the camera to focus our attention on what the characters were looking at. Oh, terrible! Terrible technique. Terrible.
I'd rather be just looking at a preteen girl's bedroom. It's like, okay.
I'm sorry, but if you look at Uncharted 3, you go to the desert. It's so beautiful. Yeah. The scenery, the camera angle. Yeah. How is that?
Yeah.
How's that like ugly than Life is Strange? I don't.
The camera movement is boring. And it doesn't have rack focus.
It doesn't have it doesn't have.
It doesn't have the rack focus, and that's really important to be a real game.
Doll face. What rack?
No, but Uncharted has the
real
rack
was
focus
the friends
because
aren't they kids? They're not even developed, right?
Eric, you're asking questions that I do
I'm
not
just
have
talking
the
about the camera. What are you talking about?
yeah. What are you?
What are you talking about?
I'm not saying anything actually
for that.
I take that back. Don't mind me. I'll just.
Here is this Swedish chef. I appreciate Life is Strange for its nuanced and not at all retarded stance on gun control.
Oh, God, did it
That's
really
my favorite part of the game.
What is it? The thing where she says like, "Oh well, the gun control is when I control the guns," and then later she like shoots herself.
Oh, it was great.
Like she should like not on purpose. Like she like accidentally shoots herself in the
foot. Doesn't she get shot by a ricochet?
Yeah.
Like the
yeah. It's like
bounces straight back. I'm like, bullets don't work that way, but okay.
But it's the fact that she's like,
imagine being killed
when I control the gun, and then she does some like really dumb shit.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem with Uncharted. It enforces gun rights. You know?
Yeah, because it's like, if
how do you die? Yeah, but how do you die?
Shouldn't use a gun at all.
I don't know how to use it for jack.
You know. Maybe the universe is trying to tell you something. You know, maybe if that freak accident happens, maybe the universe is telling you, maybe you should just, get shot.
Bad boy. Have you got a gun?
Yeah, I've got 3 guns.
A gun? Right. If you shoot a car door, will the bullet bounce back and kill you?
Oh, it'll go straight through it.
Yeah, no, not in
real
life.
In real life, yeah, it'll go straight through it.
Yeah, so as Dollface says, if you're killed by a statistical impossibility, and there's no way in the universe it's going to happen, you might as well just kill yourself because the world doesn't like you.
The universe is standing you.
The universe tried to kill her like 3 times that day.
Yeah.
So wait, are you saying that Deadshot is impossible?
Yes.
It's a fantasy.
What?
Okay.
Yes. It's impossible. There's no way that a black man would be able to shoot that well.
Well, I mean, he was a white guy, but yeah, sure.
I don't know what you. There's only one Deadshot, and his name is Idris. Oh no, sorry, it's a different character. Will Smith.
Oof.
Okay, let's continue.
All you see meaningless clutter. The dialogue also has a really painful air of artifice to it. Almost all.
Let's try that one more time.
Whoa, hold on. What word did he use?
Meaningless clutter.
Meaningless clutter.
Can we actually listen?
Attention to an object, and it rarely even does that. Take any given shot from any of the games, and all you see is meaningless clutter. The dialogue also has a really painful air of artifice.
It looks like a really well set scene, like really well done.
It looks alive. It looks like a real place.
Supposed to.
Just because it doesn't look like a teenager's bedroom doesn't mean it's a meaningless clutter. You fucking degenerate.
Like markets that look pretty much exactly like this.
Yeah, it's a little thing
talking about it. They're modeling it after the real life Madagascar. So is he saying that just Madagascar looks ugly?
No, Madagascar doesn't look like that because there's not enough. There's not
meaningless
enough mud
clutter.
Yeah, because Madagascar's in Africa, so everyone should be living in mud huts with.
You can't call them meaningless clutter nowadays. That's not very PC.
Yeah, they're called people of color. They're called people of color, not meaningless clutter.
You can just call them meaningless clutter.
Yeah, traveling the world is ugly. Yeah, any place outside of America is ugly.
There is a lot
meaningless clutter. No, but just Democrat vote.
No, there is a lot of things that a designer does in scenes and level design that they keep adding stuff. And I saw this in game design when I was learning it. that the designer approaches, okay, what can we do to put some static meshes in this scene to make it feel better or look better? It comes down to just adding more stuff. And in this sort of scene, I could argue, maybe there is too much stuff. At the same time,
but
that's the point.
It looks like a bustling marketplace that they're
It's
about to go.
supposed to.
It's a city.
Yeah, it's supposed to be busy. This scene is supposed to be busy. You're overlooking this veranda, and you're looking down at the city, and then you zoom in, and you turn around, and there's this market behind you. Like, that's the point. It's supposed to look like that.
It translates into a sequence where Sam's brother's all the way down below in that city. So Nathan and Sully have to ride in the Jeep, and they also have to outrun this this vehicle that has like a turret. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah,
but it's not like it's so
it provides a great
the truck that
sequence.
never gives up.
Yeah. No, but
it's
it
not
provides
like
this great chase sequence.
Yeah, but it's not like it's so cluttered though that we can't see the characters that we're supposed to know, like the main characters. Like we can pick them out. It's not like they're falling into the background because it's just so cluttered. Like we can clearly see like which characters is them. Like we can clearly follow them, see them in the scene. You know, and particularly in this like shot, you know, it's like there's good blocking. You know, they're clearly in the foreground. You know, there's clear like separation between the people in the background and the sort of the ambiance and the characters that we're supposed to be paying attention to, you know. So
then you go to Life is Strange, where you run into the same people every single time, same 20 people every single time.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
It's just like real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like real life, it rhymes.
I thought that was poetry.
It rhymes with steel knife.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidence? Yeah, probably.
I think not.
This fucking video, man.
To it. Most all Nathan Drake and his companions ever do in these games is spout action movie one-liners. Instead of developing their personalities and the emotional stakes.
Who gives a fuck?
Naughty Dog is more concerned with making them seem cool and funny, and the quips they say are often cool and funny.
So
wait.
What are you expecting from this fucking game?
Admitted it.
The game is doing the thing it's supposed to do, and you're admitting to it, and you don't like it, even though you said it's good.
It's not deep. Must be deep.
Oh, do you know something? This is going to be a fucking... He's going to be jacking off Life is Strange like a fucking midget in a fucking male brothel. This is going to be one of the worst things I've ever going to have to listen to.
Oh, and here's the thing. I know I'm anal about the title, but he's talking specifically about Uncharted 4. They do try to develop their characters a little bit more than the past 3 games, you know, because there's a scene between Nate and Elena, and because he's been lying to her, and she finds out, and she's there. Yeah, and it's
don't
pretty
know how she
emotional,
found him there, but she found him.
Yeah. Off screen
pretty big plot hole there.
Yeah, I know. But she finds him, and they have a confrontation about it. Why are you lying to me? You could have been shot. You could have been killed. And
why are you
don't you think I have the right to know? I just really?
There's a lot better things. Yeah.
You know what?
Nate's tearing up.
It kind of reminds me of The Incredibles. You know, with
really?
Mr. Incredible, right? He wants to get back into the superhero life and goes behind his wife's back to do some superhero shenanigans, and then she finds out about it and follows him. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's some similar plot points there. You know.
Well, she thinks he's cheating on her. Actually,
it's the same thing in The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Well, yes, in The Incredibles, it's like, oh yeah, it's like,
yeah, no, it's a good point.
Probably cheating on me.
Most characters are afraid of losing their loved ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking love The Incredibles. So
but yeah, no, it's generic. Yeah.
Shame never made a sequel to it.
Yeah,
no, never happened. Nope.
But they did.
No.
Is it?
Eric.
Eric. No, so let me seriously ask here. Is it really that bad?
I don't fucking like it. I don't fucking like it. Okay.
I loved it actually. It's the female empowerment that was great.
Jesus Christ. I'm more disappointed that they didn't do a time skip.
Oh, someone's being called.
I want fucking 10 years later, or I want to see like Jack in like as like a toddler, or like at least some kind of time skip.
I want to see Jack as a disgruntled teenager going full Brightburn on this entire town.
I want to see Dash.
Oh, God.
I want to see Dash in like he gets like a sport scholarship or whatever, but then he gets investigated because they think he's using drugs. But they think he's using performance-enhancing drugs, but he doesn't. He just has superpowers. Then they find out he has superpowers. Then they blackmail him into doing secret missions so that we're going to expose the fact that you're a super if you don't do this stuff. And then he ends up running drugs like in fucking Drive, like in the movie Drive. And then Dash has to...
And then to pay the ransom, Violet has to set up an OnlyFans and what?
And then Dash has to become a fucking speed assassin man to pay off his debts.
No, in all seriousness, though. Well, in all seriousness, no. Like the dad got the first movie, the mom the second. It's like the third. If they make a third movie, inevitably it's going to be about the kids.
The dad didn't really get the first movie. It is a family affair. People just assume it's the dad because the story follows the dad to begin with.
He got the most focus though.
Did he?
Yes.
Back to Uncharted.
Did he?
At the start, in the first act, he did. But then,
but by the time the second and third act.
So a lot of it is getting on the plane, and her doing the full like parachute shit, and them getting him out because that's a whole big thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's get back
to it.
They give zero reason to care about any of them. There are human moments in these scripts, but it seems like they're mostly inserted to fill a quota, or maybe the action.
Okay, so wait a second. So he admits there's actual emotional scenes, but it's like there's not enough. It's just one or two. You're like, dude.
What do you mean? Isn't it enough that they're just kind of likable and not annoying? Like, is that not enough to care what happens to them? What do you fucking mean?
Nathan and Elena's relationships carry out throughout the whole story. How is that not enough?
Like, what do you mean? We
only
don't
like one or two. You even have the flashback scene where him and his brother. It's pretty cool because they're just kids exploring and they're just talking about history and artifacts and whatnot. But that's not good enough.
Break into a lady's house.
This is like he's admitting there's all these good things, but there's not enough of them. It's like, well, what does it need? What's the magical number? Like, what do you need? Every scene?
Well, there's somebody at Naughty Dog with a clipboard going, okay, that's enough.
I think they're a hell of a lot more.
Stop. We've done 4 romantic scenes. People don't think no one's this romantic. Ask Neil. All he has is like men having sex with him.
Oh.
Well, how are we supposed to like the characters and care what happens to them when they don't even murder the protagonist of the previous game in cold blood?
Yeah.
I mean, how are we supposed to even care? They're just not likable.
We've been following Nate and Elena since Uncharted 1.
And Sully.
I think we're invested in these two characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in Uncharted 3 when you find out Sully has been like a father figure to Nate. Because he didn't have anybody.
I love Sully. Still waiting on that Sully and Sam spinoff.
Yeah, they're never gonna do it.
Still waiting.
You're waiting until you die.
I want Charlie Cutter back. He was a great bloke.
Yeah.
He was a great bloke.
He was. He was great.
He was a great guy. One time we met him.
It's just the way that you went. He was a great bloke. It's like, did you forget
Graham McTavish? He was awesome.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's just the way that you just like. I was expecting a little bit more than just bloke.
Okay, anyway.
He's that fun.
Let's go. Let's go.
Movie quips were meant to fill a quota and someone misplaced a decimal. Either way, the writing in these games is sorely lacking in pathos. There are quiet moments.
Oh my god.
All right, so...
What about pathos? What about the rest of the Musketeers?
Wait a sec. Okay, so pathos you can take different ways depending on how he's interpreting it. I'm assuming it's... I'm assuming it's going to be the communicative styles. So there's 3 major styles that Aristotle defined as forms of causing people to believe in what you're saying. And pathos is emotional appeal. Okay, so I'm thinking that's the generic one that I think he's referring to. It's very specific. I was expecting that. The second one, when you say pathos, in the literary sense, has to do with tragedy. Or Aristotle would regard to the focus of a story is catharsis, and pathos is the best way to do that. And we refer to that as tragic elements, sad elements, things that make you care. I think what he's trying to say is we don't sympathize or empathize with these characters enough. And that's why he doesn't have a connection with them.
Oh my god, if he's going to start saying, whereas in Life is Strange, you feel like you connect with Dungle Bitch and whatever the other person's called. I don't know, I don't care. They're just women. They're just figments of my imagination anyway. So I'm sure he's going to go down this route. This is just going to turn into, like I say, just jerking off Life is Strange into this video.
Well, he's trying to compare it to other games that he likes as a baseline, which is fine, but you're choosing different...
That's all subjective, though.
You're choosing different genres. You're choosing apples and oranges, which I don't respect. Like, I
would never try and, compare games that are, completely different genre-wise to each other to say whether something's a good video game.
Yeah, at least get this
a real video game.
Yeah, at least get the setting right. At least get the style of game right. Like if you wanted to compare other Naughty Dog games like Last of Us, that would be a good matchup at least.
Well, it's like
sure. It's still telling a different story.
I can compare loosely. I can compare Red Dead 2 with Cyberpunk because they had similar development cycles. And you can see what was done with them when they first were released, so you can use that. But in other ways, it's a bit like the games are different. I can't compare both stories, but I can say look what you get with both games compared to how long the companies were working on it, and also their treatment of their staff after crunch time and everything.
Yeah, you could go to other companies and say, well, this is like Lara Croft, whatever, and maybe it is. I have no idea. Mm-hmm. You have to do a proper apples to apples. You have to, and if you're not doing that, you could just pick anything. You could just pick any game, I don't know. Because I can't. Yeah, Metroid Prime.
I can't say the horse riding in Metroid Prime is worse than Red Dead 2. I'm like, well, yeah, there's reasons for that. But I wouldn't say Metroid Prime is less of a game because it doesn't have horse riding in it. You know, to be silly.
But this idiot standards is like, oh, Red Dead's not a good game because it's not like Life is Strange. That's as far as this comparison goes.
This is like trying to compare The Sims to Call of Duty. To be honest.
Yeah. I mean, The Sims has got a way higher body count.
Extreme as you can get in terms of comparison.
So let's just ask a question.
This is comparing Pong to World of Warcraft and saying, well, Pong's story doesn't hold up compared to because it's just
and that's why it's not a real video game.
So let's just assume he's not doing the appeal to emotion argument because that's stupid. What if it's actually?
Hopefully, right?
Well, is there any tragedy in the game? Does anyone die? Is there any sad moments?
In Uncharted,
yeah.
Uncharted,
yeah, are there sad moments?
There's a little bit, but not a lot.
Okay, if that's the case, I don't think he's referring to pathos in that regard because it's like even he would recommend. Okay, there's no tragic elements in this story. It's not a tragic story. It's like you're right. Why would you want that random element? It's like saying there's not enough romance in this story. It's like it doesn't need that. So I'm assuming he's referring to the emotional appeal, and to him it just doesn't connect. And you're like, fine, but that's not a fault of the story. Because
but my response to that is always right. Imagine I'm someone who has no emotions. Right. So why is this bad?
right, you can use I'm a monk, right?
Well, I have no emotions. Come on, tell me why it's bad. Yeah, but how did it make you feel? I feel nothing.
Yeah.
Why is this bad?
I'm objective about everything.
Yeah, well, that's what I talk about in regards to evaluating properly. You have to have the mentality of like a meditative state, because that's a reaction to everything. And if you're just reacting to everything, it's like, oh, it was so scary. It's the scariest thing I've ever seen. This is the scariest piece of media ever. Everyone should watch it.
You've devolved into a 2-year-old looking at his dad's car.
You are without standards.
What you've devolved into.
Yeah, looking at his dad's what?
Car keys.
Oh,
essentially, these keys are the shiniest keys you've ever did see, right?
Yeah.
So that's not a proper analysis. That's just, I don't feel anything because movie bad. You're like, what do you mean movie bad? It's not fun. It's like, it's supposed to be fun. Yeah. So Guardians of the Galaxy is completely boring.
I was not laughing throughout Titanic. Worst movie ever. It's like you weren't meant to laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I was. I loved all the people died.
Schindler's List was like the worst comedy I've ever seen. I mean, apart from the Jewish jokes, I found nothing else funny.
You just don't get it, Hawk. You just don't get it. You know, not all comedies are for everyone. You know?
I mean, The Room is a pretty bad drama.
The Room's a pretty bad war film.
Yeah, those Thompsons were not realistic.
The Room is not like Saving Private Ryan or its prequel Dunkirk.
Yeah, it's not filmed in one shot like 1917.
Oh, that was the dumbest. Colin, the dumbest. Okay, not the dumbest, but one of the dumbest things we've heard. This movie, which is completely unrelated to this other film, are different. You're like, wow, thanks, Colin.
I mean, it's The Room. I mean, it's no Jurassic Park, you know.
There were no dinosaurs in The Room. Therefore, it wasn't.
Therefore, it's a terrible documentary on dinosaurs. And you're like, that's right. It is.
Yeah, there's not enough.
To be fair, Tommy Wiseau does look like a dinosaur.
All right, here's Zero.
This 30 seconds to take a call. What the hell did I just come back to?
Right.
This porno has a really bad plot. It's the worst documentary on Princess Diana's death I've ever watched. And you're like, wait, what the fuck is going on?
Well, if you think about it, the BVS porn parody has more of a story than Zack Snyder's BVS.
Apparently,
it does as well.
that porn director actually gives a shit. So.
Oh no, yeah. You know about porn director? Yeah, because he got asked a question about why his outfits look better than like the actual movie outfits, and his response was, "I give a shit." I retweeted his tweet. Right, and said, "See, this is the sort of people we need actually making movies and films and stuff like that." He liked it, retweeted it, goes, "I might give it a go." I was like, "Oh my god, I got a porn director retweet me on Twitter. This is great."
Oh, I want him to make a movie now. This is great.
All right.
You must.
The outfits are incredibly good, and they are really good. There's a lot of time and effort goes into them, even though they're just like ripped off in like 5 minutes.
All right.
But yeah.
Here's Zero.
Uncharted.
Hey Zero, thanks for the 5. How much you want to bet he played the games out of order? Not that dissimilar to his JoJo viewing. guys,
Uncharted 4 first.
First you start with 2, then you go to 4. Okay. Then it makes you think of the offshoot game.
Then you play Gears of War, and then you go back to.
You gotta play that shitty spin-off sequel in the PS Vita.
And then you watch the remake of Old Boy. You watch the remake of Old Boy, and then you watch Mother Knows Best.
Yeah, you gotta read the book in between the gameplays, so that it makes sense.
All right,
here's. And then you need to watch Breaking Bad season 5, episode 3. Just that episode. Just that episode. No, you need to watch the rest of it.
Yeah, make sure you watch the credits too. It's very important.
Yeah.
Which made me think of my time in Uganda when I was eating ice cream, and then I watched and played Uncharted 1. Like, what?
It reminds me of a time when I was teaching. It reminded me of a time when I was teaching English in Northern South Korea.
All right. Mike Testa. Hey, how you doing? This guy has worse ADHD than me. Jesus, tell us why, how, and what Uncharted 4, not a video game, you frustrating ferret. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah,
frustrating ferret.
Frustrating. I'm going to use that one now. That's quite a good...
So, where does Uncharted 4 fit in the Fiat franchise? Yeah, that's a real question.
Second to last.
Alex Hilo, please.
Alex, answer the question.
Please tell us how it fits in.
Well, you see the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is referenced in episode 2. And it's like, oh. Anyway, let's get back. 441. Okay.
In the beginning, each one where I feel invested, but by the end I'm always a bit too worn down by the posturing and the ridiculous supernatural bullshit to care. Uncharted doesn't really emulate film. It emulates what people who don't watch a lot of movies think film is.
What?
I got to rewind that.
There was really no supernatural element in Uncharted 4.
No, there wasn't. But yeah, let's hear that again.
The other three, but sure.
Let's try this one more time.
I thought there was.
But by the end, I'm always a bit too worn down by the posturing and the ridiculous supernatural bullshit to care. Uncharted doesn't really emulate film. It emulates what people who don't watch a lot of movies think film is.
Wow.
Watch a lot of movies.
What does that mean? Oh boy.
So he's insulting the audience because it's for people who don't know film. The game is for people who don't know film.
People playing this game don't know
how can
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but how can you not know what a film is unless you're Helen Keller? Like,
unless you live a very sheltered life.
So what? What's so that? Is he going into what's a true film? Are we doing that?
We're just going into so many different.
You're comparing it to movies.
In all honesty, all 4 Uncharted games are better than some of the movies out there right now.
Yeah,
they are.
In terms of plot and character development.
In fact, I think some of the Mission Impossible films even took, they made some action sequence just based off on Uncharted. So Tom Cruise going onto the jumbo jet or whatever. That's because he wanted to copy Uncharted 3.
Yeah,
that's so weird to say something like that.
And the supernatural element. Okay, you had Uncharted 1 with the zombies. They actually kind of explain that, sort of, Uncharted 2, you had
the Chintamani Stone.
The Chintamani Stone that basically gave you everlasting life. Then in Uncharted 3, you had the people that went crazy from drinking tainted water in that city.
Supposedly it was a genie, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, it was like a hallucinogen. Uncharted 4, there was no supernatural element at all. I mean, I was shocked.
It was just pirate build,
Uncharted 4, you go to a pirate city. That's it. I expected the pirates to come to life and attack you.
Can I just ask a question? So he's saying that he couldn't get behind the supernatural element, but he likes
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange.
Oh, well, that's not supernatural. That's
on time travel,
cinematic and interesting nuance. Blah 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 blah.
Yo, the sequel has telekinesis and it adds to the variety of the storytelling.
And the third game, you play a mood ring with legs.
I'm just I'm just struggling to understand. You go to have a conversation with this guy, and you're like, I don't know, man. I just don't like Life is Strange, and he just says to you, you just don't understand cinema. And you're like, wait, what? What?
No, that's where you look at your drink and you think, what the fuck have you just put into this?
And are we talking about the same thing here? What? I thought we were talking about video games. What?
Yeah. I mean, does this idiot do this with everything? Really?
Yes.
Like I didn't like this book. You just don't understand true cinema.
You know something?
Okay.
I don't like sponge cake, so I don't understand true opera. You know, like.
Oh yeah, I don't like this anime, but
Joker 2019 isn't a real book.
Yeah,
oh man.
Okay.
And it kind of does exactly the same thing with games. The platforming is the
Wait a second. Let's go back.
Roll that
moments
back.
in these scripts, but it seems like they're mostly inserted to fill a quota. Or maybe the action movie quips were meant to fill a quota and someone misplaced a decimal. Either way, the writing in these games is sorely lacking in pathos. There are quiet moments in the beginning of each one where I feel invested, but by the end I'm always a bit too worn down by the posturing and the ridiculous supernatural bullshit to care. Uncharted doesn't really emulate film. It emulates what people who don't watch a lot of movies think film is. And it kind of does exactly the same thing with games.
Okay, so now he's saying gamers who don't, or guys who don't really play games, play Uncharted, and they think it's good.
Guys who don't do anything else play Uncharted. The only people who play Uncharted only play Uncharted.
Yeah, apparently.
That's the impression that I'm getting. That is what
played all 4 Uncharted games, and I play other games, so I guess I'm in the minority here.
Yeah, it's like if you don't watch film and you don't play games, but you play Uncharted, you're gonna like Uncharted because it does things that movies shouldn't do and that games shouldn't do.
I mean, I played a lot of games before Uncharted. I think a lot of people did.
Yeah,
that's a weird take.
This is just. Who's turned a sprinkler on? Someone's mic's hissing.
It's Smud.
No.
Is it? No?
I push the talk.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The hell?
To me?
Well, it stopped now, whatever it is.
All right.
Me?
Possibly. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't get the joke, Clock.
It was. Shut the fuck up, Eric. Anyway, let's just move on.
The platform is the most obvious example of this. It sure as hell looks exciting. Nathan Drake spends a lot of his time dangling precariously from the edges of cliffs and scaling sheer rock faces inches away from death, but it's all a facade. In terms of...
You know what's also facade? The entire game. Every game is a facade.
I get what he means about it being a facade. Well, I get what he means.
I want to hear what he has to say.
Wait, no.
Well,
yeah, okay.
I think I get what he means, because I think it's sort of like there isn't really a risk of you like falling when you're hanging on like one of these like ledges. You know what I mean? There's no real way to
fall.
Fuck up.
Well,
but if you're like when you see these like cliffs where it's like 3 in a row or whatever, there's no real risk of you like falling going from
but here's the thing, Dollface, listen. There's no real risk in Life is Strange, but he fucking comes over that like a fucking yak in heat. So
yeah, I mean there is risk if you're climbing and shooting. Like you could get shot.
Yeah,
I guess you could accidentally press the circle button and then.
But what I'm saying is, you cannot stop putting the. I'm sure there's no risk when you literally said Life is. It's like no. Life is Strange has no risks because you want everyone to die. In fact, the game encourages you to kill everybody because it's such a bad game.
It's pretty much the final choices too. Either kill the whole town or kill your girlfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, she is a bit. I mean, so it's...
I'm just wondering, like, if you replay the game, does that mean there's like no risk because you know what to do, or?
I just mean
that's in every game, but isn't it?
Yeah.
If you replay it, there's no risk. You know what to do.
I think I know. I mean, even on
the first time.
I want to hear what he has to say about facade. I want to hear what he has to say about facade.
I mean, you're pushing a direction. Do you know what I mean? You're just kind of going up. And
I understand.
But you also do that in Assassin's Creed as well. it takes a lot.
But it's a lot easier to.
But
There's a
it's
lot more
more
ways
involved.
to fail in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I think.
In Assassin's Creed, it's even more of a facade because it's a simulation.
Oh yeah, now you just hold one.
You're not
button
even
and
really
change
playing the
everything.
game. You're playing as you're playing as a guy playing a game.
Yeah.
It gets
All right.
worse in Revelations because
Yeah.
playing a guy playing
All
a
right.
guy.
Anyway, let's
If only
You're not
Assassin's
even
Creed
in
more
the
than Life
anime.
is Strange.
let's keep going. Here's
Yes.
Tyler Preston.
Yeah, let's keep going, guys.
The comparison to Indiana Jones with Uncharted is accurate if you think about it. The 4th edition is shit. No supernatural, an unnecessary sequel, mysterious family suddenly appearing. It's the kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, sure.
Basically.
I would argue people still find
That's
it fun.
funny.
So,
I mean, I think it's a proper ending, but no, I can see that argument.
all right. Here's Mike Teston. We'll get back to the video. No Spud, you know what a facade is? His credentials. I don't know his credentials, so I don't really care.
He hasn't
Fairness,
got credentials.
Well, he did do journalism, right? That's
Yeah,
his
but
credentials.
that's nothing. Anyone could be a journalist.
Listen,
Unlike
I've too got my nuts trapped in the window. That's perfectly fine. We don't see me saying I know what video games are.
I mean,
Smudge just
unlike
straight up
Uncharted
told
4,
the truth.
unlike Uncharted 4, Crystal Skull is a real video game. Of course.
Fucking Christ.
It's a real video game because it understands cinema.
We're a quarter of a way through this video, and I still don't know what a true video game is beyond he doesn't like Uncharted and he likes preteen girls killing people viciously.
Yeah.
But then again, he likes works done by paedophiles that only him and his girlfriend can watch, and everyone else should not watch it, but pirate it, but don't pirate it.
I wonder if
should
he.
have his tongue cut out.
I wonder if he likes Last of Us.
Oh, I don't care.
Probably likes the second one.
Yeah, he's so deep and complex.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm out of cookies as well, so I'm really angry.
As
Well,
soon
you
as
can
the
have milk.
As soon as the Guinness finishes, it's all hell again. It's just every life sucks.
Yeah. Literally going through my head is just "Hello, darkness, my old friend," and I'm just like,
Just
I'm
eat some
just
Oreo cookies.
I'm just staring at like the empty plate, just going, good times, my old friend.
Anyway.
I think I'm on my 4th glass of rum and coke right now.
Wow. Oh, jeez.
Well, I'm only putting like a little bit of rum in there, so I'm okay.
Yeah,
Plus, I'm home,
only 2 to 3 liters. It's perfectly fine.
All right. Here's Taker.
I can hear you licking the plate.
Okay.
I'm not licking the plate. I don't know what you're on about.
Here's Taker 610. Uncharted is a book for people who read their games and eat their movies while looking at music while bathing in cheese. I am a profound media critic. It's like this weird wishy-washy sort of language about this is not a real film or this is not a real game. There's not enough elements of Scorsese in my Uncharted or something. It's like
it's pretentious bullshit. You know, like 101. Just keep saying bullshit.
But if the writer is a pedophile, then he's not a Scorsese anymore, right?
Yeah.
The writing becomes garbage.
The writing becomes human, like Detroit. I'm not even gonna make that joke anyway. Let's move on.
Oh boy, let's go.
Of interaction, all you ever do is point in roughly the direction you're supposed to go and mash X to move along a series of magnetic handholds.
Wow, it's like you just move your reticule against guys and press the button, fire and kill them.
You press the trigger button on a console.
That's how you navigate.
It's like you get to the end of the platform, you hit the jump button. It's like, oh my god, it's like everything.
It's like with Mario, you press A to jump or whatever you pressed, and I don't know.
Yeah, the 2D classics. Yeah.
Yeah, I am like really like losing the will to live.
Yeah.
And
every 2D game is not a real game because you only move one direction.
Excuse you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I really, 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 really am losing the will to live with this fucking
always.
Most times, but I know he's not going to talk about what we thought he was going to talk about, and it's just.
Anyway.
Yes.
Well, I mean, in 4, they add rope physics for a grappling hook to let you fuck around a bit in the space between the magnetic handholds, and a big magnetic wall that you can stick to by pressing square instead of X, but it's really the same bullshit with a different skin. At no point do you have to put any thought into the timing of your jumps or plotting your course. The game does all of that for you.
Okay, so this guy wants you to have like a pump button for your jump, so you hold the button and you like, okay, I'm ready to jump, and he's like pumps up and he launches himself into the next handhold or something. Is that his big?
I remember in, sorry to cut you off, Smud. I remember in Resident Evil 6, there's a sequence at the end of like Leon's campaign where you have to climb a rope and you have to press the left and right triggers on your controller to climb the rope, and you have to time it. So you know, like he reaches with his left hand, you have to press the left trigger. And Resident Evil 6. And
6.
it was so annoying because it came out of nowhere. I had no idea what to do. I died like 2 or 3 times trying to do it, even though I had prompts on the screen telling me what to do.
Yes,
as good as Resident Evil 4 is, it was worse there.
Well, this is the problem with game input design. When you have a game like Heavy Rain, which they went bongo with input design. They just say, okay, we're going to have the entire game designed around this motion-sensitive controller, and we're going to give you prompts for the QuickTime event. The whole game is basically a series of interactive QuickTime events that you have to walk to. And it becomes the silliest interface idea I've ever witnessed in a third-person adventure game.
Also, the story of Heavy Rain is pretty shit as well, so you're really not that invested.
It takes away from the player this sense of control. And if you start adding like, oh, you got to do this intricate button press or holding buttons and all these other things, it's going to become a chore. You're going to have to do all this. You're basically doing the dishes and all the little mechanical maneuvers you have to do. And it's no longer fun. You want to see an awesome guy who's really not like he's not a buff dude, he's strong enough, do amazing things. And you want to go through that effortlessly. Maybe a little bit of challenge, but not like physical input effort. That's ridiculous. That is not good game design.
It's just in like platforming, when it's something like Mario, whether it's the 3D Marios or the 2D Marios, there is like a lot more gameplay, and there's stuff that will, you know, there is timing the jumps, getting the distance of the jumps. There's a lot more to it than in Uncharted because, as he says, like it is magnetic, like it is sort of.
But
and
even,
it is
even in Mario, it's run and it's jump. In like Castlevania, it's jump and then double jump. It's like very straightforward.
Platforms aren't magnetic, right? So you have to.
Well, I think Mario's moves are more expanded, right?
Yeah,
you do wall jumps. You can mess around with some of the moves, and you can.
Like if you mess up, one of the Goombas will get you, or one of the turtles. It's good, you know. So you have to think about what the enemies are doing, what their patterns are, and all these other things.
Yeah.
Whereas Uncharted, like you're going across this like terrain and everything, but functionally, you might as well just be walking in a straight line. Like in terms of what you're actually doing with your hands on the controller, I mean, it's not that different to just walking down a corridor.
Yeah,
you know, in terms of actual gameplay.
I think it only becomes that when you're fighting enemies, perhaps, right?
Yeah, when you
actually
get to
have
the enemies,
grappling
that's
hook points now.
The gameplay per se, or if there's like a puzzle.
I always compare this because puzzle would
we're actually playing a game here.
Would be something along of a logical element to a game that you have to think and go, okay, how do I do these things? And that's why I like comparing it to God of War, the original God of Wars, because I think near the second or third game, near the ending, it becomes a QuickTime event game, which annoys the shit out of me because it had fantastic platforming, action, puzzles, all kinds of great combat, and then everything gets reduced to a QuickTime event cutscene. And it's just...
I don't remember either of those two being that.
Well, I just got frustrated at the last. You're fighting Zeus. I just could not take it anymore. I'm just so.
That was 3.
That was 3 then. Okay. It was just so monotonous, and I kept dying at the same. What do you want me to do here, game? I'm doing all the prompts you want, and my hand-eye coordination is pretty good. I'm not an old man. I'm not that slow. So
I'm
you're right.
drunk, right?
You're right. It was 2 with that one fight
with Zeus. It was just so monotonous, and I died like the 6th or 7th time. Like, this is enough. So
yeah, everyone agrees that is pretty much single-handedly the worst part of God of War 2. Just that one sequence, because it's so precise.
And it just pops in your face for a split second. You're like, oh crap! I didn't memorize the last 4.67 seconds I had to time it. Like, it's just annoying. So,
now, if it was the same buttons every time, maybe that would kind of balance it out.
Yeah, but it still becomes it becomes a different game. It becomes a reaction. What's the word? Like a duck hunt game where it's always like, really.
A reactionary game. Yeah.
I don't know what you call those reflex games, whatever. So
yeah,
there's a certain. I don't know the axis. I'm thinking of an XY axis where it's like complexity meets interface. And once you start going away from that center line, things go awry. And I'm glad that the interface of Uncharted, even though I haven't played these games, I know my friend has, and I watched them. Even though,
nice.
Even though, it's a great. The guy loves it. He's like, you got to watch me play this game. Okay, fine. I'll watch it. Even though I've never touched it, I was like, I don't want him to like have to do this crazy input just to jump. Or to grab a ledge.
Exactly.
My problem with the climbing segments in Uncharted is it's kind of like the parts that are cut out of the Indiana Jones movie. Like it's like if you're watching like an Indiana Jones movie, all of this climbing and stuff, you don't have to see all of it. You just he does some climbing, and then it's like it gets to the end of the climbing and the next like actual plot part or the actual action sequence or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like.
It's like putting all the boring parts
back because Uncharted wants to, because it's sort of a creative choice of they want you to be there the whole time, like they want you to just experience everything. So the problem is you didn't really have this problem when you had games that just had discrete levels, because when it just has like discrete like levels like that, you don't need to worry about connecting it all in this big not consistent. That's not the word I want to use, but like continuous world, right? So it's just, to me, I find them kind of tedious and annoying, and I'm like, I just want to get to the next like actual gameplay part, because in terms of like, because you can't really lose it at this stuff. It's really just, you're just walking, like, even though there's climbing, it's not really gameplay. You're just sort of going to, or
it becomes more of a would you say it becomes more of an issue because it's so they're really padded out at that point.
Yeah, and they are quite slow, and there's not really much threat, and there's not. The other thing is like something that maybe I don't know how they would implement it, but maybe something like the fact that he has like infinite grip strength, like he can just keep holding on forever. I think if there was some kind of like, you can't hang about, like you have to go or else he will run out of grip, like that kind of thing. Like
they did that. They did that in the Metal Gear games.
Yeah,
like in 2 and 3 specifically that I can think of. I can't remember about 4, but
tension to it. That would add some like, oh shit, I gotta actually go. I feel like
there's little moments where like if you're holding on to something, it breaks, but that happens so rarely. And if you know where they are, you can avoid it completely.
But you can just infinitely hold on to most ledges, and it's not gonna run into you. But I feel like if it did, it
or like the grappling hook, right?
If it was like no, you can't hang about because you will run out of grip strength. That would have been really that would have added.
Yeah, totally.
They didn't really do that.
Grappling hook. That's another story element that is a huge plot hole in Uncharted 4.
Yeah, why did he
learns it as a kid. He learns how to use a grappling hook as a kid.
Yeah.
Yet he never uses it in Uncharted 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's kind of
dumb. It's not a plot hole because he didn't need it. You don't understand. Yeah.
It all makes sense now.
Oh boy.
It's kind of like in a franchise where it's like, the character can't swim in the first game, and then the next game they introduce swimming as a mechanic because they can functionally do it with technology.
Yeah, that's why I like Red Dead, because John cannot swim.
That
John
one makes
can't swim in the first game, and then in the prequel he can't. He still can't swim.
It'd be funny if in the prequel he can swim. That'd be quite funny. That'd be like, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Sweet. He could swim in the first one. He just couldn't dive underwater.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, meanwhile, Assassin's Creed
I don't
1,
think so. You touch water and you die. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was perfect because the Animus wasn't updated, so they couldn't.
Yeah, in Assassin's Creed 1, water was just basically the equivalent of bottomless pits. Because
it's
like
how in Spider-Man 1 on PS1, like it's just a toxic cloud and the webs go to nowhere.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't never finish that game. I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to play a game like this.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's keep going.
Let's go.
You don't even have to judge distance, which is good because Drake's ability to jump is governed entirely by what the developers want to happen at any given moment. There's no mechanical system to be understood and mastered here. The only hurdle to overcome, which can be surprisingly difficult at times, is figuring out what exactly the developers want you to do, because the signposting in their cluttered, messy levels is pretty terrible.
All right, so he's making...
it's pretty simple, actually.
Yeah,
what were you saying?
He's making an argument. I don't know if you guys remember the downfall of Sierra Games. This is very similar to a logic puzzle where you don't know how to progress the game because you don't know how to combine items or what to do next and where to go next, because the creator has this logical thing of, well, you have to make a disguise, but in order to get the disguise, instead of buying a disguise from the disguise shop, you have to make your disguise by attaching like tape onto the mouse hole so that the cat can run past the mouse hole, and then you could collect the hair from that tape from the cat. And then, like, all this bullshit just to make a disguise. Like, it's so dumb and obscure. And that's the kind of thing he's trying to argue. When you're really saying, dude, this is a streamlined game to make the experience clear and colorful and fun and simple. And if you can't see that, you're blinded by all the colors or you're blinded by all the other elements.
Well, he's saying, like, it's hard to navigate. It's pretty simple to actually navigate through it. They even paint. They put paints on like where you need to climb so that it makes it more obvious where you need to go. How he can't navigate through that? The question is,
he also said you can't like judge the distance. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do math while I'm doing a video game. Like, okay, let's see. Let me pull up my protractor here, to make this jump.
Right. That's another argument that we make with classic side-scrolling games like Castlevania. It's like, okay, I know how far my character can jump. But it's not that style of game like we have in Fallout. Like Fallout, everything's open world. Everything is just dynamically bouncing into each other. And this game is a bit more scripted. It's a bit more nuanced.
The example would be Crash Bandicoot, where you're trying not to overshoot, and you have to judge, like, do I jump like this close to the ledge or a little bit further back? Because you can't be too far and you can't be too
well, and you can't jump too. You also got to keep moving. So if you stop moving, you can fall straight down to the pit.
So he's actually arguing, if he had full control of movement, he would be dying every other jump because he'd be like, "Oh, I jumped too far. Oh, it's not far enough." Like he would be pissed off at that result. So,
because I don't even think you have a sprint button in Uncharted. He's just like speed walking.
Right. And it's streamlined.
Infinite sprint, but I'm not sure. Yeah. He never misses arm day, okay?
Yeah, all of these games in this style are streamlined to make the interface easiest for the player. That's the point. Yeah. So to argue, it's too streamlined is like, that's the point. Like, this is what I hate about these reviewers. They compare it to other stuff, but but he's not actually doing that. He's just saying everything's whatever the designer wants. Yes, that's how any piece of software works.
Joe, something. This guy is honestly boring me to death because he's just talking bullshit. Everything he just says is just like, we get it. You don't like Uncharted. Get on with what point you're meant to be saying, or just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm being I'm entertained that like he can't navigate through the game, like he's that stupid or something.
But here's the thing: I'm entertained by our conversations. It's like everything to do with the video. I am so close to actually falling asleep in my chair.
Maybe if you have
too much cookies.
Probably. probably the case. But also,
maybe if you had rack focus, he could navigate. That's what he's missing.
Jesus.
Rack focus.
Jesus, you know what? I completely actually forgot that he said.
Yeah, those jugs.
Here's John Doe. John Doe, the average Joe.
The rack.
You can only throw grenades back in Uncharted 2, by the way.
That's true.
Corrected himself in the chat.
I think that's
said Uncharted 3. He corrected himself in the chat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, 3.
I wish you could do that in 2, but you can't.
You could do that in all the Uncharted games.
Yeah. See, that's what I don't understand. You only get a grenade thrown at you, you should be able to throw it back. It's like you wouldn't just stand there and go,
they took it away from 4. It was like, oh, great, I guess grenades are dangerous. It's tedious, I guess.
Grenades are not that great of a weapon. Let's just be honest with you. Let's just be honest, people. Grenades are like, you've got to time it right.
That's subjective.
Not subjective. There's a timer on it. Time is not subjective.
It also beeps.
Grenades
don't beep, and they also don't flash red.
Yeah. That's subjective, how long it takes the grenade to blow up. Well, you know what? You argue with the grenade for like 15 minutes. Go on then.
Yeah, I will.
Remember that scene in Batman v Superman where the guy jumps on the grenade to kill himself and he kills himself?
No, he doesn't jump on the grenade. He gets some guy gets thrown into him. He drops his grenade, and instead of going, "Oh, I'm going to move out the way," he goes, "Let me try and grab it." Why? Why are you doing that? Run away.
Because it's subjective. He thinks he has more time than there actually is. Snyder's a fucking genius.
No, that's not subject. That's not being subjective. That's just being fucking retarded.
Damn, base.
The grenade, the pin is gone. He's let go of the lever. You're no. There's nothing you can do. You've set off.
What'd you say? Did you say lever?
Is it called? I don't know. What was it called? It's the pin and the
handle.
What did it let go of?
A spoon or something like that.
No, I just know it as like lever. The boop lever. That's cool.
Oh, in the UK we call it lever because it got an E.
I also hear that you say it's skeletal instead of skeleton.
Who the hell says it like that?
I would only say lever if I was quoting Yzma. You know.
No, it's
lever.
It's
hold the lever.
What the fuck is skeletal?
The place of Cusco.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Who the hell says it's skeletal? What the fuck?
Platforming is
like
basically
Skittles.
a glorified QuickTime event, only without any sort of penalty for pressing buttons too early. There are moments where Drake seems like...
If there's no penalty, there's not a QuickTime event.
Yeah.
The exact opposite of a QuickTime event.
Jesus fucking... Mother's Basement's like the sort of guy who doesn't know what video games are, but tries to talk about video games.
Oh. Okay, I just looked it up. Yeah, that lever on the side, it is actually called a lever. And when you pull the pin on a grenade, it is called a lever.
Yeah.
Lever!
Oh, the lever.
The thing is, though, yeah, so once you take the pin out and let your hand off of the lever, that's it. Because if you just putting the pin back in doesn't work. It's already set off the timer and the primer, and it's all you've got no fucking chance.
I gotta find the clip. I gotta find the clip for it. But there was, you know, the movie Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes.
There's a scene at the end where he puts the grenade down Lance Henriksen's pants. He pulls it out and he unscrews the grenade and he separates the fuse from the grenade and he's like, "Ha ha!" And then it sparks and he's like, "Oops!" Blows up. The fact that he had enough time to do that.
It's.
It was a great scene. I laughed out. I laughed so hard when he said "oop."
I also love those grenades in like Die Hard 2. It's more than like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
The plane scene. Yeah. Oh Jesus.
It takes like 2 minutes for those grenades to explode.
Like all 6 of them.
6.
Yes. He kept throwing grenades. He was trying to find his way out.
Use the ejector seat. seems very common in planes like that.
Yeah, I prefer the holy hand grenade types of grenades, where you just know exactly how long you've got.
All right, let's go.
Like he'll fall, but they're scripted and they pose no real threat. You can also set your watch by how predictable they are. The only time you'll die while doing this is if the scripting fails, which happens a lot more frequently than it should. It's just pretending to be what people who don't play platformers think platformers are.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Nobody's... sorry. Nobody says Uncharted is a great platformer. Nobody says that.
It's not a platformer.
No. They go and, oh, that was such a cool action adventure.
Yeah, as I said, this Mother's Basement is literally like a guy who's never played video games before telling us what video games are.
He assumes that the fans say that. They don't.
Yeah. The fans just say, shut the fuck up. We're trying to play a video game.
Applies to every other game mechanic. All two of them. Uncharted provides two different ways of interacting with enemies. Stealth and shooting, and also straight-up quick-time events if you run up and try
Oh my god, stealth and shooting?
Nobody does that unless the game forces them to because it sucks. They did a passable Arkham knockoff thing in 3, but they made it even worse in 4 with a system that boils down to mash square and wait for your AI companion to come trigger an execution. It's real bad. But the stealth is worse. The first 3 Uncharted games had pretty much the worst stealth system ever. In fact, even calling it a system is too generous. Enemies...
I don't know, play Metal Gear Solid, the first one. Stealth was not exactly very well implemented.
Metal Gear Solid 1 didn't exactly have the kind of stealth that would be in, say, like Assassin's Creed, my dude. It took a little while for MGS to find its own identity in terms of the stealth mechanics.
And plus, we're talking about an entire genre of video game which has matured over the years.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this game, at least it has stealth. I remember when was it the Arrival DLC? Gave the illusion of stealth.
Oh my god, you just walk quickly past the door.
The one speed.
I've seen better stealth from a kid who's got the fucking shit.
Stealth. You just shoot everyone like you always do.
Yeah.
No, it's not even that. The stealth is literally the Batarians are watching TV and you just saunter past because there's no crouching in Mass Effect 2, and you're like,
what, that one section? It's like that section sucks.
Yeah, they give you what is it, the Citadel DLC? They give you a stealth. What is it? A silenced gun?
The silenced pistol. Yeah,
makes no difference.
Version of a weapon that you should already have at that point.
It's like, oh wow, I never thought of this before. It's like, yeah, it doesn't do anything differently. It's just a gun.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that's fair because the stealth in 2 and 3 is bad. Even if you succeed, there's enemies that spawn over, and you're still gonna have to shoot your way out.
The section in the Citadel DLC would have been no different if they had just given you the Gatling gun from the get-go.
Yeah,
but I think 4 finally perfects it. Well, not perfected, but it's a much better stealth system than the previous games. You can actually fight your way out of a level through stealth.
Fight your way out of a paper bag, easy. Yeah.
What game is that?
You can even avoid all the enemies altogether if you don't want to fight them.
That's no fun.
Which one is it, though? Which one was that one on?
Oh, it's Uncharted 4.
Oh.
Sure. Okay.
Alrighty.
In fact, I think, oh no, never mind, go ahead.
In these games have basically 2 levels of awareness, totally oblivious and locked onto your exact position from space, and they would...
Yeah, that's pretty much most stealth games.
Enemies are stupid, yeah.
Not really. I mean, like, if you get caught...
doesn't really do that, though.
Like, in, Hitman, like, if one person finds you, if you can get to them before they actually tell someone... Like, they have to actually tell someone, or, set off some alarm for everyone to be aware, like, it's so...
Yeah.
a lot of games do have like where there is actually some. This is one of the problems with Cyberpunk as well, is that the police just materialize. You know, they don't have to come from anywhere.
But they also disappear if you walk inside a shop.
Yeah. So, but they don't have to drive to your location from anywhere. They just like literally appear outside of your vision, and you just turn around and they're there. That annoyed me.
It's another thing Assassin's Creed does right. It's like it gives you like. There's definitely a big window in between being anonymous and being detected. It's like, depending on your skill level, you can get away no matter what.
Well, this is the thing with this sort of game design, is you can't have an action-adventure / platformer / parkour / stealth game. It's too many things. Mm-hmm. You just don't do it. And he's like, oh, the stealth is bad. It's like, I'm impressed they even had stealth. And allowed you to have those elements.
But that doesn't make the 4 that actually did do the stealth pretty well. That somehow doesn't make Uncharted 4 a real video game.
Somehow.
Okay.
Because what you're going to get, this is the argument he's making, is that it has a little bit of everything and it does everything poorly. And you're like, okay, that's fair if that's the case. But that's the nature of the game design. When you have all these mechanics that have to work in tandem, and it's kind of like you're never going to get like the best stealth game with the best third-person cover shooting and the best guns. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, no, that's I think that's fair, but he's talking about the previous game, and the title is the Uncharted 4, and that's where
this is Uncharted 3 right here on the screen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I got it. It had a crappy stealth system. Yes, absolutely. But Uncharted 4 didn't. So how does that not make Uncharted 4 a real video game?
He's not. Is he not just trying to say that the whole Uncharted series is a not real video game?
Supposedly, it seems like it. Yeah.
Because that's just it. Other people talk. I'm just losing the will to even like say English words.
See, the joy of the cookies has just gotten so high, and then the pain of this video. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I'm on a real down right now. Seriously, I feel like a heroin addict going cold turkey.
Just wait until he brings up the Crash Bandicoot Easter egg for no fucking reason.
Okay, let's go.
Jesus. That's
Switch
bad.
from the former to the latter as soon as you interacted with them in pretty much any way. The stealth is a big fat lie, basically. An artificial way of building tension before shootouts. The lie gets more convincing in 4, which introduces an ability to mark enemy locations in your HUD, as well as awareness markers that create a buffer between obliviousness and battlefield omniscience. And to the uninitiated, this might seem like what a stealth game is, but it's missing all the tools that make good stealth games playable. You have no...
Okay, again, nobody says Uncharted is like a great stealth game.
Like all they really talk about when you mention Uncharted is the action. Everybody always talks about the action in Uncharted.
Yeah.
Like, it's big action set pieces. It's big like chase scenes. You know.
Oh, the jokes were really funny. Nolan North is really has great charisma. That was awesome. I love it. Nobody says, "Wow, the gameplay is so complex."
People do talk about the voice acting. Like, people actually do mention the voice acting a lot of Uncharted.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's those voice actors. Yeah. It's pretty good." Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
Real way of distracting guards or moving bodies or, well, doing anything besides waiting for them to turn around, basically. Or throw grenades, because those are the only weapon that doesn't instantly give away your position, somehow. If you don't have grenades, you do a lot of tedious, shitty waiting. Or more likely you get bored and start shooting, because fuck that.
Hang on.
Unless the design...
Wait,
that's
what did he just say about grenades?
Oh, that they're the only way... They're the only weapon you can use without giving away your position or something?
So he thinks it's unrealistic that it won't give your position.
Like,
tell me, if someone throws a grenade, are you gonna instantly know where that person is?
No.
Oh, really? I mean, it's a pretty
I mean,
wide.
If you catch him in the act, sure, but you know.
You could think like, okay, how far could he throw it, and he can only be that far away, and then you would have like a radius.
Sure.
Like,
You're kind of limited by the game's engine, really. I mean, they're not going like he's over there, you know.
Yeah, in Metal Gear Solid, you can throw a grenade. They'll go into high alert, but that doesn't mean they automatically know where you are.
Yeah, if they had a system like that where they deduce where your location is at, that would have been great. But
then he's complaining about
they're kind of
winning.
limited by the game's engine at that point. You know, you can't create a system like that. You know, be on PC, but you know, not on a console.
MGS2 kind of has that, where they can like find you, even if you're in like in a locker or something hiding.
But he's complaining about waiting in a stealth section. Like that's pretty standard in stealth games. Is times where you have to just wait.
Yeah, and that sequence he was showing where it was like him and it was like Drake and Sam, you know, and it's like, oh, you can get bored and like shoot the guy. Yeah, that stealth thing was optional. Like you can either go stealth or you can go loud in that sequence. You know, you don't have to do it stealth.
Yeah,
that sequence anyway. There's no penalty for going loud.
I mean, those are one of the sections that you can't skip. But there's some other sections you can just bypass. If you know where the exit is, you can bypass it all. You don't. That's the thing. You don't have to fight and kill all these enemies. That was kind of the cool thing about Uncharted 4.
I remember there was an achievement in Uncharted 4 where there's like a sequence where you have to like avoid like the guard to meet up with Elena, and you can either choose to go loud or you can do it stealth. If you do it stealth, you actually get an achievement for, you know, getting past everybody and not setting off the alarm.
Yeah, you can.
That was in that sequence only.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a couple of sequences, but yeah, if I remember correctly.
But I'm saying, like, in that sequence specifically, you can get an achievement for like stealthing past the guards, not killing anybody.
Yeah,
or, you know, not raising the alarm, basically.
Yeah, those are elements. Yeah. I would argue many people want in all of their games as a result of playing games that had it, like Metal Gear. There was definitely Deus Ex who did it too. And you're like, you know what? I have all these guns. Why can't I just not kill everyone if I'm that good?
Mm-hmm. That was pretty much Metal Gear Solid 4 in a nutshell. I have all these guns. Why stealth? Like, you're in a stealth game with an M60 machine gun. Yeah, let's do it stealth. Okay, great.
Well, the game does have the foresight to just let you go whole hog with the guns if you have them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They did consider that for the sake of like that little inconsistency.
Yeah.
Oh, and also in Uncharted 4, you could go loud, but then you can go back to stealth again. I think that's important to mention too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That they want you to get through a section with stealth, in which case all of the enemy patrols will be piss easy to sneak past, and their line of sight will suddenly shrink to just short of the end of their nose. And conversely, if the developers don't want you stealthing through a section, the AI will spot you through walls in order to stop it. There are even segments in Uncharted 2 where if you manage to ghost your way past groups of enemies, the game will auto-kill you when you try to leave the area because you didn't play the way the designer intended. It's kind of like...
Right, yeah. I don't give a shit about Uncharted 2. I'm here to hear why Uncharted 4 is not a real video game.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's just complaining about bad design choice before he's complaining about
even
it's not a real video game.
We're getting halfway through the video.
I think we're putting choice. We're putting choice on a bit too much of a pedestal here. You know, I think it's like, oh well, they only let you pay this one way. Like I don't like. Okay, so like the idea that like. Yeah. It has to have choice, and every game has to have all these options. Where did this come from? I don't understand why this is like just like, oh well, everything has to have a whole lot of options all the time. Like,
yeah, where did it come from?
Where did this come from?
Choice side.
But it's always interesting because when we talk about a game like Last of Us, no, we can't have choices anymore.
Yeah, Eric. Perfect.
But also you're guilty for it. You have no choice, but you should feel bad.
Remember, do you remember when people tried to defend Mass Effect 3 saying the only choice that matters was the developer's choice? when it came down to stuff. And then
Matt Walter's choice.
I don't recall that argument. I'm afraid not. That's
really. Oh, I got that thrown at me like years ago about the fact that but choices don't matter. It's still the developer's choice, and it's like they decide what choices you get to decide. Well, then it's not my choice, then, is it?
Yeah.
So
that's a pretty. I mean, ultimately, everything comes down to the designer of whatever.
Well, I knew that, but my point trying to put across is a bit like, well, then why tell us that we had choice if it was?
Well,
the minute
this is the problem.
Had a choice, you just cut everything away.
With the non-game content, where we're talking about marketing and interviews, where they say stupid shit like, "This is your game. You can play the game however you want." It's like, no. It's however you code the game.
You have 27 different endings. Okay.
Be your own Batman. No, I just want to be the Batman.
Yeah.
You can feel like a power washer.
But what? Hang on, hold on. What was this guy's argument again? I've forgotten.
Let's rewind.
Bad design choice.
Yeah.
So, past groups of enemies, the game will auto-kill you when you try to leave the area because you didn't play the way the designer intended. It's kind of like playing D&D.
If you try and leave the...
Uncharted isn't D&D!
Yeah, but hold on. If you leave the area, it's like, if you leave the area, the game's going to punish you because you're leaving the area.
I mean,
you can't just wander everywhere in a game like this. It's not fucking Skyrim.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's treating it like Uncharted is supposed to be this, like, choice-driven RPG, and it's like...
It's an open world game, you just go anywhere. It's like, no.
Even earlier, he stated what the game is doing, so...
that's not... It's not trying to be
He really is just complaining about his personal preference.
But the thing is, it's so obscure. He's not referencing other games when he's saying, well, why can't you go back from where you came? It's like, is that a problem? Like, why would you do that? It's stupid. Maybe they should have had an invisible wall.
Explanation to something like that.
Yeah, like you could have all these other game mechanic things that you do that make the game a game, like invisible walls or bullshit like that. And he'll be like, well, why is there an invisible wall? It's like, dude, like, what do you want? What is your standard?
All games have invisible walls.
This is like, why can't they just choose not to save Peach? Why can't they just say fuck her?
Well, you know what? When I play FIFA, why can't I just leave the football?
Leave the pitch.
Leave the pitch and just go wherever I want to go.
Become an accountant.
Yeah, just, exactly.
Well, and I'm getting annoyed too because he's like, "Oh, it's just you can choose to raise the difficulty if you wish." They get pretty harder, and they're much more difficult to just. I guess their health is raised up a little bit. Maybe I don't know, but they are pretty difficult at higher difficulties.
Yep.
And he's just talking about, oh, it's so easy. Okay, so then you just play all the games easy then. You're just complaining about difficulty now.
Ooh, okay.
Exactly.
Really shitty DM. Uncharted wants you to shoot pretty much everything, but Thing 2 is a lie. Nominally, it works like most other third-person shooters. You point a cursor on the screen and press a button, and then if the hit scan scans a hit, you kill a dude. And if too many dudes are scanning hits at you, you hide behind a wall until they stop. Also, every 30 seconds, without fail, one of them will throw a grenade and you'll have to move to a new wall. And moving to a new wall is basically the extent of the lateral thinking that you have to do in these sections. People compare Uncharted to Gears of War and Tomb Raider, but the closest point of comparison I can think of is either Hogan's Alley or Simon.
Okay, that is...
What?
Wow.
What? Okay, you got one game that nobody's ever heard of, and then you got a touch game that you have to memorize colors. Okay,
Yeah, you have to memorize the pattern and the colors. Yeah,
great comparison there.
Yeah,
great
all he's
comparison.
doing is, I don't like Uncharted. It's dumb. Here's a comparison to Simon. It's dumb.
I don't like Uncharted. It's dumb. I'd rather play a game where I look at preteen girls.
Yeah, this game is bad because you can't play. It's similar to Beep Bop. Bop it.
Honestly, this guy, and knowing what this guy actually looked like as well, he just...
I like how he prefaced this film or this video at the start. If you like Uncharted, that's cool. It's like, really? You just compared Uncharted to Simon.
Yeah, you are literally saying, I think that every single person who likes Uncharted is a fucking idiot because I'm so much better than everyone else.
But it's okay if you like Uncharted. It's okay if you like Uncharted, guys.
It's okay if you like it, but you just don't understand video games like how I do.
And I think
it's not a real video game.
The point that he's making is that it's basically a very, very simple, like, game does this, I do this. It's not, you don't have to. It's not a very complicated choice. It's like, okay, well, they threw a grenade, I moved to a different wall,
His argument is, I'm too smart for Uncharted. I use my intellectual powers for Life is Strange.
I'm too big brain.
And you're like...
I have to... And the thing is that I don't care if anybody says this is a joke. Jokes are supposed to be funny. That's not a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is him just insulting people.
Yeah, he's being serious.
Like a game that he doesn't like.
He's being absolutely serious when he says this is just like those two games.
Yeah.
How complicated is?
Don't come at me with that.
Supposed to be like, I mean, how difficult? Like, how is it supposed to be made more difficult? Like, what is the other? So
it should be like Life is Strange.
What?
Life is Strange is like a Rubik's Cube.
They're shooting at you. So, like, how are you supposed to make a third-person shooter intellectually stimulating? What was the other way? Because so he's saying like the only way it does it. Oh well, they'll throw a grenade at you after a certain amount of time to get you to move to a different piece of cover. Okay, fair enough.
And the game's encouraging you to keep moving.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, what else are they supposed to do there?
Honestly, the Uncharted series pretty much follows the standard format for any third-person video game at that time.
Like, I mean, are the AI not
first-person shooter too?
Like, are they not smart enough to? Is the problem that they should be flanking you or something, and that they don't do that, and that's bad, and that's the reason why it's bad? Because I think they do. I think they do try to do that. They do try to get by.
Well, I don't know. It depends on the difficulty. Again, it's just.
This really is just turning into, I think.
Yeah, so I'm just not.
Stupid.
It's not
really
real
sure what he's
game.
asking for here.
I don't know. I'm stupefied. Really.
All right. Well, we are half done. We get to call it a day, guys. If you want to, reassess your life and all that jazz. But
Get more cookies.
yeah.
Yeah, seriously, this is like, I don't usually get drained from a video, but this guy is, I honestly.
Now the question.
He's the sort of guy where if I was dunking my cookies in like milk, I'd like hold it under till the bubble stopped, just like I'd do to him. So
I'm curious to finish it, but
okay. So that was the next question.
I feel like it's still going to be stupid.
Do you guys want to finish this tomorrow? Is the question.
I don't know, to be honest.
I'm down for it, but whatever you guys want.
I'll join up with you guys.
I'm fine with finishing it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can do it tomorrow if you guys are tired. That's totally fine. We've been going on for about 2 hours and a half, and it does drain. It does drain us of attention because it's so silly, and
I know.
It's not for everyone. So
every video this guy does, it's always draining because of how off topic he goes.
Yeah, because I'm still waiting for when Uncharted 4 is not a real video game, and all he said is I don't like it. I'm like, that's great. I don't like a lot of video games.
Through.
I mean, to be fair. Yeah, Uncharted 4 it's no Scooby-Doo in the cyber chase for PS1,
Super shag.
That's how dumb he is. Even in the last video where you can skip parts of JoJo, he goes on 18, 20 minutes about Other anime.
Oh yeah, he does. We had to skip. This guy is the worst sort of person that I've seen since the last video we covered.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
I'm really done. I'm so sorry. I really am like finished.
No more cookies.
Okay. Anyway, let's call it a night. Well, if you guys don't want to do this tomorrow, we can totally do it tomorrow. I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, we can.
Sure, I'll
do it.
join.
Alrighty. All right, guys.
Do we have any stream memes?
Oh, I'm sure we do.
Go, or is it?
Of course we do. You talked about cookies, yes. Oh yeah, here we go.
Has to be at least 5 based on cookies.
All right, here's one from Hawk that we apparently skipped yesterday, but here it is. This is a joke.
Great meme.
This was a joke that I said that we should not let a Snyder near a pad and pencil, and this prompted Hawk to put the word pencil to a John Wick reference. And here's the Russian mobster fellow. Snyder killed a franchise with a pencil. A fucking pencil.
A fucking pencil. Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm not sure why we're doing this one, but I thought this was funny too from Eric, who we wanted for Lex Luthor. I don't know if we actually wanted Heisenberg, but okay. Who we got? Eisenberg.
I would have liked Heisenberg personally, but yeah.
Yeah, God damn it, Bryan Cranston would have been great.
Well, yeah, he's great in everything, but I don't want him in shitty movies. That's the problem.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Rigby. Gone Home. A real video game in the eyes of a game journalist. Boring walking sim. Gone Home, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
I forget this tool as a game journalist.
Here's Gorgeous Rex. If you don't know your terminology, you go in my bad book. Yeah, you do.
Who's that? Is that Misa from Death Note?
That is Misa.
Wow, she's
what the hell?
She's got some really nice leggings, yeah.
Yeah.
Mark in 3D. Mother's Basement real video game. So when are we ever going to take this game seriously? And then I linked the actual real video game, which is Barbie Groom and Glam Pups.
Oh, that was you?
Well, you gotta talk about have a real video game. You know, you may as well bring a reference.
That game really understands cinema.
Yeah, you have to play with Barbies
it's
growing
like
up
Rubik's
for 14
Cube.
years into your teenage years to understand cinema.
I was watching one of the fucking Barbie movies the other day. They have one where she's like a spy and shit.
Wow.
And it's like, damn.
She's been everything. God damn.
Wait, hold on.
And they're not.
Hold on. Why were you watching it though?
Look, dude. Sometimes you just gotta understand the deep lore
Of Scorsese.
Of the Barbie universe.
It's like, are they all the same Barbie, or is it like multiple?
No.
Yeah, why are they all part of the female idea, right?
They're part of the Barbie verse.
They gotta be fat.
The Barbie cinematic universe, you know, the Barbie straight to DVD universe, you know, like really makes you think, you know.
All right, here is Canadian Smut and Friends still beating the dead horse. Yeah, that's us. The other one's a picture from Borderlands 3, but that's just a cute quote from Rigby. I'm not going to read that.
Honestly, the beating the dead horse is really cute. I don't know.
I like the flies, yeah. It's like,
it's so cute. I don't know.
Here's Aura Master DX. All games are equal, but some games are more equal than others.
Yeah.
What?
Totally, obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
Holy shit, there are 38 Barbie movies? What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? Excuse me?
Yeah, see, you contributed to this.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
I would rather
joke makes more sense than you think.
there be actual Barbie movies than the stuff that some of the comic books or comics in general and animated shows we were looking at. Give me a tall, leggy blonde any day, obsessing over puppies and lipstick. It's good enough for me.
How come there's not enough Bionicle movies? I want more of that.
Oh, well, that's because you're gay. You should be watching Barbie.
I'm just glad they exist.
Okay.
I don't watch them. I just want them to exist.
I just want more. I just want more Barbie movies to exist. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
I want
I have a standard, and that standard is Barbie. Okay, that's
17.
Standards Barbie.
In 2017, Barbie video game hero.
I want to see Zack Snyder's Barbie movie.
Oh
no!
I don't want to see Barbie literally about to kill Ken, and Ken goes, "Save Martha! What did you say her name? It's the name of his chihuahua." That's the name of chihuahua.
Yeah,
we're friends now.
Cindy.
No. Here's Mateus. How he died, Nathan Drake.
What about
he fell off the cliff.
You missed George's Rex. The gift.
I showed it. It's just a woman.
Oh, did you? I was miles away. I thought it was really cool, but he's been able to do that with the gift. But anyway,
you guys don't shut up.
I want to learn to do that.
Like it's on the screen for like 2 minutes.
You guys don't shut up. Okay, thanks. Okay.
It's true.
Yeah, I know that's my fault.
It's
so
fine.
apparently,
someone's off my Christmas card list.
Nathan Drake fell off a cliff, and Mateus is like, "What?"
Why is Mateus purple?
He always is.
I thought he was black. Okay.
Good question.
What?
Rigby again. What are the themes behind this xenomorph attacking these Marines? Aside from man versus alien, I don't know.
It's nature taking back its planet, right?
Nature versus nature? Okay, I don't know. Something like that.
Versus technology, I guess.
Yes.
Here's Golf Lord, the Golf Lord, classical. Man versus nature. The universal classic theme of man versus nature. Moods and sensations.
Is that a camera? Wow.
That's a rack camera. Look at that.
Yeah, pretty impressive rack.
Or a rack focus camera. I don't know.
That rack is so big.
So this game about treasure hunting is related to a game about lame hipsters, and the game about the lame hipsters is better than the treasure hunting game. What drugs are you taking? And here we have Nathan Drake doing all kinds of action stuff.
Nathan Drake things.
God, look at that. Life is strange.
I'm like, what is happening here? What does she do? Does she control time too?
She controls emotions, apparently.
Oh my god. Is she Deanna Troi, but in reverse?
A woman that can control emotions? That's impossible.
Yeah, that's fiction. It's clearly a fantasy.
Well, I don't believe it. That's just a little far-fetched, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I can believe time travel.
Yeah.
I can't believe this.
Yeah, I can understand.
Does she?
Disbelief, but a woman
that makes sense.
Does she have a zipper on her halter top, and she just unzips it every time to control people's emotions?
Yeah. Yes.
She seems like a rather thick lady, so I'm assuming that's how it works. The magic, that is.
No, she's not thick.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Who cares?
The art is bad.
Oh.
I assume, I don't know.
Bearserker, remember kids, the only people who like watching Chad and Tyrone, okay, their wives think Life is Cringe is better than Uncharted. What?
Who's Chad?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to know.
Two very big black guys.
Here is...
Wait, Chad's a black guy?
Sadistic hawk using enhanced interrogation techniques on a member of the cookie community. 2021. Colorized.
The people of The people of Cookie. People of Cookie.
Wrong. It's about racism and trans rights. Okay. Mother's Basement trying to say there's no character development in the Uncharted games. Oh.
Well, I hope he's okay. I hope he didn't hurt too much.
Are you sure? I hope he fucking dies.
Welcome to...
Well, not the actual guy in the GIF.
Welcome to...
Oh, yeah, I hope the kid's alright.
Welcome to Arcadia Bay. But what's that shadowy place over there? That is meaningless clutter. You must not go there.
That's a good one, yeah.
So much meaningless clutter in Uncharted. Like all those platforms.
Smud, could you imagine going to an art museum? You see a beautiful painting and it's meaningless clutter, apparently.
I understand what he's trying to say. Because it's all very like visually appealing, but it's too distracting from the focus, which is like, sure, but maybe you think that might be the point, to have all these amazing vistas and objects to make the world believable. That's what you do.
And then have people like this idiot describe it as meaningless.
Well, when you have detail, it's like how much is enough, and some designers would say the most you can get, as much as possible. Which is always a difficult thing on resources because these games take a lot of effort to make, and Uncharted is very detailed and has lots of attention to detail. So it's like, all right, maybe
it kept getting delayed a lot.
Yeah, maybe they don't need that 27th guy in the background walking around in an AI loop. Maybe not. But it certainly looks amazing when it's done. So people appreciate visuals very simply. So. Mm-hmm. All right, Arcadia Bay is dead, and Chloe is alive. Vote Max. Oh.
Oof.
By the logic of Mother's Basement, this is like Fallout because things blow up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember when someone called that violence in video games?
Wow. They made the inventory in Resident Evil 4 a real thing.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. No, but hey, Smud, do you remember we covered that guy? Was it the PBS guy who was asking whether people thought Tetris was violence?
The fucking PBS
because it made blocks disappear.
Well, no, they thought it was communism.
What?
Right? And it represents how Stalin erased people from his photos. Right? Because all the pieces and I watched them fall away.
Isn't just a Russian game or something?
That makes sense, yeah. I thought it was rape, because you put a piece into a hole. And
thanks, Eric.
Here's Mateus.
Yeah, no, it's definitely communism.
Mother's Basement Uncharted doesn't have enough pathos. So what?
Yeah, so what? Yeah,
so what?
Thank you for stating the obvious.
Definitely more scary than Friday the 13th. What's my name? Dunkachino. Oh my god.
Oh, that stupid movie.
That's that was it. Jack and Jill, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say hello to my chocolate blend.
Peak cinema.
Oh,
that clear like tax evasion thing. Yeah, just.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh my god.
Definitely not the best movie. It's definitely it's no Barbie Princess Charm School,
It's no Citizen Kane or Barbie Princess Charms. Jesus.
It's no Barbie Starlight Adventure 2016.
Dollface, do you still have the list of Barbie films up?
No, I just know them off by heart. No, I'm just that big of a fan that I just know all the names.
Here is cool. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and then we have the proper French version, Life is Strange.
Is Mother's Basement French?
According to Mother's Basement, yeah.
No, he's Canadian, isn't he?
I don't think that's Canadian.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Smud. When are you
he's
Canadian?
What?
No. He's French Canadian, the worst type of French and Canadian.
I don't know if the bottom left guy is French Canadian. I don't think so. That doesn't look right.
No, that's what I'm saying. Mother's Basement, French Canadian.
Oh, he is. I have no idea.
Know, maybe.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. I don't care. I couldn't. He could be Moroccan. No, not Moroccan.
What is happening here?
They don't exist.
What is that?
Morocco from that one cartoon.
He's a ferret.
Oh,
he's a ferret.
Oh.
He's a frustrating ferret.
Yeah, frustrating ferret. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a ferret.
This is Francis Drake from Fate. I found the connection. Holy crap!
That's Francis Drake, really?
Bruh.
Wait, that explains why they couldn't find
chest.
That explains why they couldn't find that he was related to Francis Drake, because they were looking for a man, but it was really a woman. So that explains why they thought, but he really was, because it was a woman,
Francisca.
But they were looking for a man, and that's why. Oh, it all makes sense.
Yeah,
it all makes sense. It's all connected.
You could call her Frances. Frances. Drake. Frances is a female name.
Well, don't they both wear dresses though? I mean, come on.
What?
That is the weirdest looking pirate hat, but okay.
I'm incredibly horny.
Well, it's a chest.
I just want to get my hands on her big chest.
Let me tell you, I have the rack focus.
Yeah, there's a lot of gold in there.
Just want to get my hands on my face.
A lot of booty, a lot of booty in that chest.
I just want to dive headfirst into that bountiful chest of gold.
Yeah, I would just love to give her my sword.
I just want to fuck it. I want to fuck the chest.
I just want to stick my dick in it.
There she blows.
I'm not gonna lie. I just want to like fuck her.
All right.
I hope your girlfriend's not sitting next to you.
What I understood from Mother's Basement's video, Uncharted 4 is for subhumans.
Yeah,
but it's okay. You could like it. It's okay. It's fine.
It's fine. Even being a subhuman, you're still above Mother's Basement, so don't worry.
Indeed.
That Sully guy looks pretty familiar.
It's Omni-Man.
Think, Nathan, think.
Think, Nathan.
Your thieving has cost your life. Think, Nathan.
Mother's Basement, there is no stakes in the climbing sections. I think Matthias just repeated the meme.
Just so what?
There's no
yeah, it's really just so what.
Golf Lord, sacrifice Chloe or sacrifice Arcadia Bay? Risk? What?
Yeah, there's risk in that choice. Yeah.
Why is it Ainsley Harriott?
I don't know.
Yeah, boy.
He's gonna make some sauce. I don't know. What is he doing? Wait, this is a facade? I thought this was real. I've been lied to. What the hell is this guy doing?
Y'all mind if I snap?
Hawk, stop doing mukbang during the stream.
Oh god, I fucking hate Nico Avocado. Yeah, I fucking hate that guy.
What is this?
Well, did you just say the N-word?
No, I said Nico Avocado.
What is he saying?
Yeah, the N-word.
Oh yeah,
What's
whatever.
He just eats. He just eats.
He used to be like relatively fit, and he just fucking started. And have you seen? He did like a house tour. I think he's done like several, but he was doing a house tour, and he's literally like shitting himself. He's literally shitting himself.
Ew.
During the, and he's like, oh.
No.
That is not a sign of someone in good health.
Like,
why has he got white stuff on his actually no, let's not answer that question.
Did you really ask that?
Because it's cum.
Yeah, his boyfriend earlier.
Why do you come? Do you come?
Yeah, are you homophobic?
Yes, I am. Anyway,
Here's
I'm not homophobic. I'm not frightened of faggots. So
here's a beam from Gorgeous Rex. Show me true cringe. I said true cringe, which is I think the same character.
Oh,
is that My Little Pony?
And then it's
yes, it is.
It's the My Little Pony version of it. Oh my god! And
oh god,
what's gone wrong with her stomach?
She's pregnant or fat.
Oh
no!
No,
it's not. That's just the art style.
Yeah.
That's please use it.
Neither.
That's her hand.
But there's a reason for that, right?
Is it?
It's her hand.
Oh, it's a hand.
Her shirt.
Oh, right. God, thank God for that.
Whatever you call it, the arm part.
Oh, it's fine, Smud. Don't worry. I just, when you like dodge the bullet of like nightmares. Just let's move on.
This is the sign you've been looking for when I can't see this. It's too cluttered. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see.
Hawk on the cast if he watches the vid without his cookies.
The only difference is I want to have pictures of cats.
Cookie down!
Put that cookie down!
Put that cookie down! No!
Grenades.
Yeah, I can't stand cats. Yeah. Grenades are subjective. And as I lob it towards the grenade. Is that a grenade? Is that a grenade? It looks like a smoke grenade. Yeah, so it's a grenade, Eric.
Yeah, I don't know how. I'm just thinking to myself.
Is that a bullet? It looks like a bullet.
Here's Gorgeous Rex. The thing is, it's like a quick time event, but you don't have a time limit, man. Okay.
Sure.
Thanks for that definition there.
But you don't have to be quick, and there's no time that you have to do it in, and it's not really an event.
It's like a platformer, but you fly.
How about you quit before? How about quit while you're ahead?
Listen. If you don't do time limits, you ain't black. So.
Unless you're playing GTA San Andreas.
Blacks are as smart as platforming, you know.
Oh boy! Here's the wonderful quote from Monty Python about the holy hand grenade. I know it's a 3-second grenade, but it feels like a 5-second one.
And five is way out. 1, 2, 4. No, 3, sir.
Maybe the part is like the bop. The bop it when you melee an enemy. The bop
bop it.
What is
that? Bop it. I think it was in the UK. You go bop it, pull it, twist it, shake it,
load it.
That's why I say to all the females.
Kill it.
Oh yeah, kill it.
Kill it.
Kill your family.
Suck it.
No, it's the fucking Robot Chicken sketch, where he makes the sniper rifle. And he's like, read it. It's like, you must kill the president on this date. He'll be driving.
Didn't he? For some reason, it's like almost like he's got to kill like JFK or something. I'm like,
yeah. It's like, load it,
kill it,
aim it, kill, do it. And then the police come in. It's like, and then what is it? He's at the courtroom, and it's like, zip it, and he's like, he points at it, and then the corporate's like in prison, and he's like, damn it, and then the prisoner, like the what do you call it, the jailmate or whatever, the cellmate is like, suck it.
Yeah.
Like, damn it.
I'm still stuck on suck it.
Suck it.
Sorry, no, I'm still stuck on end it. Okay.
All right.
End it.
Here's one of Bhutan's drawings. Just because I'm purple rights. I don't know what's going on here, but
yeah, because you were saying like, why isn't Matthew's purple? And it's like, I thought it was black.
Why is he?
You can't just ask someone why they're purple.
You can't just ask someone why they're purple.
Just ask why they're purple.
Stop trying to make purple a thing, Eric. It's not going to be a thing.
What? PLM, right?
Here's a Mike Testa meme.
Oh my god.
You are a worthless, friendless, maggot-lipped piece of shit.
Faggot lips. Piece of shit. Whose mommy left daddy when he figured out he wasn't Kin the O'Neill. Who's now weeping and sobbing all over my patience like a fucking 9-year-old girl. So for the final father fucking time, what makes Uncharted 4 not a game? Well, at least...
that's Whiplash, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's J.K. Simmons and the Miles Powder kid.
Yeah, the kid who's famous for his nose.
The Jew nose, yeah.
This is what's going on here?
Well, next one down with Nathan Draker's Invincible from Invincible.
Ah, yes. Look at that, perfect.
I'm surprised there's been a beam of some people putting Nathan Drake in assassin robes.
I wonder what Sir Francis Drake looks like, and then we have the Sir Francis Drake in Fate, FGO, and then we have what?
Is he triggered?
Triggered, yeah, that's triggered.
Did he turn the
I thought that was horny.
Like, what's going on there? His eyes are lighting up.
I thought it was horny, yeah.
Yeah, it's horny. Yeah.
No suggestive grenades might go off. Suggestive grenades.
I don't know what's happening with that. I don't know what's happening with it. Just
what game is that? What the fuck?
I don't know. That's a strange looking shield though. Just blows him up. Mike, test again. Can you guess the symbolism for this? Uncharted 4 isn't a video game, and that's
okay. Right. Let's just go around in fucking circles of this video. It's like, yeah.
That's funny. I like the face.
Alex Halo again. All right, time to search up some background information on Francis Drake. What the?
It all goes back to anime.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that he put Uncharted Drake's deception.
You know, I would love to see Sully's reaction. Just be like, God damn, what a woman.
Just gonna need to be alone for 10 to 15 minutes.
All right, guys, that was part 1 of Uncharted 4 isn't a real video game. You guys don't have to come back tomorrow if you don't want to, but some of you do, so we're going to finish it off tomorrow. And that'll be fun.
I'll be fine coming back and doing it tomorrow. It's just that just today it was just... I think I got a sugar rush, and then I just collapsed.
Just get more cookies, yeah.
Take it easy on the dopamine hits there, Locke. Take it easy.
Yeah. I'm really knackered right now, so I'm going to be slinking.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you.
So what you guys learn from this?
We're not done. We have to find out tomorrow to figure out.
I've learned that there are 38 Barbie movies. That's what I've learned. That's what I'm taking away from this.
Alrighty. Well, we'll talk to you guys real soon tomorrow. Have yourself a great evening and take it easy. Bye-bye now.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.